form. That's why we love it so much. I bring all that up because I want to understand where we went this wrong with the Kansas City Royals. The Royals have now played exactly 50 games. 5-0. They are 20-30. There is only one team in the American League that has won fewer games than the Kansas City Royals. You look up, they are 8.5 games out in their division. And it's not like they're in a monster division. They're not in the American League East. If the Royals could just be average, they would have stayed in this thing. They would have had a realistic shot. But no, they couldn't even do that. We now sit here a couple of days away from Memorial Day. And on Memorial Day, you got the Yankees coming in for a 3-game set, who have just dominated the Kansas City Royals over the last couple of years. Morale just feels very low if you were covering the boys in blue. I just want to know from you guys, 913-586-7965, as we kick things off today, where did we go so wrong with the Royals? What did we not see? Because 2 months ago, when the WBC was here, baseball optimism and hope was through the roof. You could feel it. There was a palpable buzz and excitement about the Kansas City Royals, and they have completely let you down in the following 60 days. Where did we go so wrong? How were we so off about this team? Now, Rob's going to give you his answer. Speck is going to come in here and give you his answer because I want to hear varying opinions on where we think we missed it at with this team. This is what I think. I think the Chiefs and the Royals have shown us a very important message. For the last 2-3 seasons or so, the Chiefs have had the mindset of our way works. We don't need to mix it up. We don't need to go outside the family, so to speak. We can just keep running it back, and it's going to keep working. We got a formula, and this formula is going to continue to stay ahead of everybody. Well, while the Chiefs stayed in their formula, the Broncos were fixing theirs. The Chargers were fixing theirs. New England, Buffalo, all of these teams, it felt like they were constantly tinkering while the Chiefs were not. Well, then one day you look up and you start to notice, hey, the gap between Kansas City and these other teams, it's not nearly as big as it used to be. The Chiefs used to run laps around these teams. They're not running laps around these teams anymore. In fact, some of these teams are now better than Kansas City. When did this happen? The Chiefs, for a time frame, decided to be extremely stagnant. And in a hyper-competitive business like the one that they're in, if you are going to stay stagnant and not innovate and not reinvent yourself, then you are going to fall behind. Apple has made the same core products for a long time. They still sell MacBooks. They still sell iPhones. They still sell iPads. But did you know that right now, Apple's business, 30% of their sales of physical hardware is with AirPods? They didn't sell AirPods 10, 15 years ago. They took a product that everybody was using, wireless headphones, and they put it in their own Apple way, and now billions of AirPods have been sold. Because Apple is a company that is always reinventing itself. They did it with smart TVs. They did it with Apple TV. They are a very forward-thinking company. That's how you have to be to stay ahead of everybody. Amazon's business model has changed. At first, it was just groceries and physical items. Well, now it's National Football League. Now it's big events. Now it's sports licenses. They are reinventing and reimagining everything you get with having an Amazon Prime membership. We're talking about the most successful companies in the history of the world. The Chiefs didn't do that. Neither did the Royals. The Royals planned this offseason when we all knew, hey, they kind of need some more things. You could have been super optimistic at the end of last season. They had a winning year. It was not a bad season last year from the Royals. But somehow the Royals took their 82-win season, looked at their roster and said, you know what, I think we're good. Wait, hold on. Like, you're not going to upgrade the starting pitching? No, we got enough. You guys going to upgrade the bullpen? I mean, just a little bit. I mean, we're not going to do too much to the bullpen, but just a little bit. Well, how about an outfield bat? I mean, you guys got pretty bad production from left and right field. You guys want to maybe increase that a little bit? I mean, we might. I mean, you know what? We'll go get We'll go get Lane Thomas. Okay, all right. Anybody else? Isaac Collins, that's who. And then when we saw this Royals team, it was just ho-hum. The Royals didn't really give you, on their own accord, really anything to get excited about this winter. People didn't really get excited about Royals baseball until the very last minute in the World Baseball Classic. We were all kind of waiting for this big move to happen, for a little bit of shake up, for a little bit of reinvention, a little bit of imagination, and the Royals just decided, no, we're good. We're fine the way that we are. Well, the rest of baseball is tinkering. The rest of baseball is making moves and trades and transactions and doing their best to field the best roster. And for the most part, the Royals just kind of sat there on their hands. Think about, as the season has progressed, the Phillies saw the way their season was going and decided, hey, this isn't good enough. This isn't good enough for our fans. This isn't good enough for us. We expect to be at the top of the standings. You're fired. You too, all of you, out of here. The Phillies have now turned it around and they're over 500. The Boston Red Sox, the team that just beat the Royals in a series, they had that same epiphany. We're the Boston Red Sox. This is not good enough for us. So all of you can find a new place of employment, not the lowest hanging fruit or the low man on the totem pole. No, we're starting over because we are the Boston Red Sox. The Royals are just, everything's fine. We'll figure it out. Guys will turn the corner. We believe in you. Kumbaya. Hold hands. Is that working for anybody? Because Boston just showed you the blueprint. They did something decisive and are trying to get back on the right path. The Phillies did something decisive, are trying to get back on the right path, and are now over 500 and are giving themselves a chance to make the postseason. This offseason, the Royals they made as few improvements to an 82-win team. They didn't go shake it up. They didn't do anything drastic. They didn't do anything to grab headlines this winter. It was slow and steady. It was trust our way. What have the Royals done in the last 30 years that you should trust their formula? Their formula has worked for 18 months of your life. 18 months. Because you got 30 years of your formula is not a consistent winning product. But this was supposed to be different. I thought it was going to be different. Rob thought it was going to be different. You guys thought it was going to be different. I'm watching them play baseball. It ain't different. I've seen this level of Royals baseball. I've seen it a lot in my life. And so have you. I saw it in the old stadium. I saw it in the renovated stadium. And they're probably going to take that same brand of baseball to a brand new $2 billion stadium because that's just who they are. I want to hear from you guys. 913-586-7965. They're not even worthy of a random lineup today. Not with the way they've played. Not with the way they've performed. I won't give them the dignity. I won't give them the honor of us celebrating their mediocrity today. No random lineup. I'm making an executive decision right now. They don't deserve to hear baseball with the Royals because baseball with the Royals is tragic. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Hi, this is Kevin Harlan, and I'm here with Rob Seid at Rob Seid Ford. Rob, I smell a grill. What's cooking?
Kevin, the grills are fired up, and so are the deals. Right now at Rob Seid Ford, it's the Ford Employee Pricing Sales Event with the best deals we've had in the past 12 months.
Now that's saying something. What are we talking?
Employee pricing on virtually every new Ford on our lot, plus even more dealer discounts on top.
So how hot do these deals get?
Up to $17,500 off brand new F-150s at Rob Seid Ford, plus huge savings on Expedition, Explorer, Bronco Sport, Bronco, and more.
Wow, that's 5 alarm hot.
Exactly, and unlike Kevin's Burgers, these deals are coming out juicy.
All right, I walked into that one.
Shop Rob Seid Ford, Kansas City's top-rated Ford store on Google. 4.8 stars and nearly 3,500 reviews.
Rob Seid Ford, 135th and State Line, or robseid.com.
Buy right, Rob Site.
Harris, Kansas City is giving away $150,000 in prizes this mid-year's Eve. Saturday, June 6th. One lucky guest will walk away with $50,000 in cold hard cash at midnight. And leading up to the big finale, we are calling names to win $2,500 in free play every 15 minutes. The best part? You can earn entries all throughout May and June. Don't miss the hottest celebration of the summer, only at Harris, Kansas City. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The wild weather this spring has brought hail to New Century Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Paola. What that means is they've got plenty of new and used cars and trucks with light cosmetic hail damage. New Century is having a hail of a sale to clear them all out. You can save as much as $15,000 and still receive all the factory incentives. The hail of a sale will not last long at New Century Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Remember, you always pay less in Paola. See dealer for details.
Imagine buying your next car from one dealership.
With the support of many.
With everything you'll ever need.
When you buy from any of the Balderson Auto Group dealerships, you're getting the support from all of our dealerships.
Like our 100 service bays, collision, and detail centers.
And our free exclusive lifetime warranty. No other auto group gives you that.
From north, central, south, the Balderson Auto Group has you covered.
A family committed to
excellence, growth,
and harmony.
Go to bagkc.com.
Greg here with V's Italiano Ristorante on 40 Highway in Independence, just one exit east of Arrowhead. V's Italiano family-owned restaurant is 60 years old, making us one of the oldest and most popular restaurants in Kansas City. Maybe it's our famous baked lasagna, fettuccine alfredo, or ossobuco. No, it has to be the red sauce. Offering dine-in, carry-out, catering, or private dining, go to vsrestaurant.com. And as Mama V always said,
it's a nice place to fall in love. We look forward to serving you soon.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
I'm Anna Garcia, host of True Crime News, the podcast. Every week, we bring you in-depth coverage on cases making headlines, as well as those that go under the radar. Tune in for murders that defy explanation, mysteries seeking exploration, and shocking secrets that will leave you breathless. Each week, we honor the victims by going beyond the salacious in our search for justice. Crime never stops, and neither do we. Listen to True Crime News, available now on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Carter Jensen from the Kansas City Royals. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on 96.5 The Fan.
I hope that Rob doesn't feel like I'm outing my brother. You guys think that sometimes we don't take phone calls, and that would be accurate. Sometimes I'm all for taking phone calls, and Rob just doesn't answer them. This person has been calling for the last 10 minutes. Rob just has no interest in taking their call. Rob will look at it, shake his head, and then keep doing what he was doing. Like, Rob is annoyed that you decided to call the radio show. It makes me, he does this at one point every day. He'll just look at the phone's ring. It'll be 2 or 3 people. Rob will look at the phone in disgust and then just keep doing whatever he was doing. It makes me laugh every time. I'm sorry, it's funny. It really is funny. All right, so we're talking about the Royals. The Royals have played 50 games. They have only won 20 of them. They are 8.5 games out of first place. They have the third worst run differential in the entire American League. The Royals, once again, are an embarrassment. They are one of the most disappointing teams in all of Major League Baseball. What really frustrates me the most is this. I don't mean this as a shot towards Kansas basketball or Kansas football. I don't mean it as a shot. Kansas football fans don't really have great expectations for their program. Hey, can you win 6 games? Can you win 7 games? Every once in a while, can you win 8? Can you make us feel good until we get to basketball? Like, the bar at Kansas football is actually really, really low. So when you've invested everything that Kansas has into their football program and you can't even win 6 games and make a bowl, hey, I understand why you're mad. I think for the most part, Royals fans are pretty forgiving and understanding. Nobody is expecting the Royals to be the Dodgers or the Yankees. Hey, can you guys be quality entertainment? I want to take my wife out to the game. I want to take my family out to the game. I want to see a good competitive game. I want the city to be excited about coming out here. Can you guys finish with the winning record? Can you play meaningful games in September? Can you guys compete for the playoff? I mean, almost half of the league competes for a playoff spot. They couldn't get you to the NFL draft. They couldn't get you to Memorial Day. They're one of the worst teams in baseball. That's what makes it so frustrating. Rob, where do you think the Royals went wrong this year? What do you think went wrong this year with the Royals?
So the what, I think, is easy. I think the what you can identify as a problem we've talked about ad nauseum on this show, and I imagine every show on this station has talked about ad nauseum. Their 3 and 4 hitter are terrible. Like that's the what went wrong. But where did it all go wrong? I listened to your entire 12-minute open. Fantastic work by you. It's hard not to point at the GM in that world, right? You knew it. I knew it. We had Vern on. We had Ryan Lefevre on. We had guests on to end baseball season. Hey, the Royals petered out down the stretch. What can they do to be better next year? Everyone and their grandmother said, well, they have this surplus of pitching depth, and they need an outfielder bad. Let's see if they can go get one. There were rumors of Jarren Duran. There were rumors of Taylor Ward. There were rumors of Joe Adell. Just rumor after rumor after rumor. And the only thing the Royals did, was they added Isaac Collins. Now, he's a fine player. I don't think it's a bad trade. I think, a reliever for an everyday player makes sense conceptually. But that's all they did to an offense that didn't do anything last year. They did nothing to the starting pitching, which, stagnant is regression city. And then the bullpen, I don't know if it's JJ's fault, but JJ should have known about it. Carlos Estevez is not a thing this year. He's not an entity. We saw it in the World Baseball Classic. We really saw it in Atlanta in Game 2. So you went into the season with, hey, all we've done is tinkered with the outfield. Everything else is plug and play. And it wasn't plug and play. Brett Veach, to make a cross parking lot comparison, may be wrong. He overhauled the secondary for the Chiefs. And maybe it gets worse. Maybe Trent McDuffie's light years better than Delane. Maybe Noel Williams isn't the guy they think he is. But there was at least progress. We're trying to do something. The Royals just plug and play. Our bullpen's good, even though it all got worse. Our outfield's good. We're going to do a small tinker. Even though it is better, it's not better enough. Hey, we have the pieces on the infield. Well, Jonathan India isn't a thing anymore because he got hurt, and your second baseman doesn't exist. And now when you have regression from a 35-year-old catcher and your first baseman regresses, you're going to start to feel that pinch. So after listening to your open, I think the answer is obvious. It falls on JJ because the lack of movement is JJ's job.
It falls on all of them. I'm not saying you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. It falls on all of them. Like, some of the logic behind it, it's flabbergasting. That's the only word I can use to describe it. Just think about this. You don't even got to think about it in a sports sense. Think about it in any business. There's 30 people in your field, 30 people in your profession. You, from an earnings standpoint, come in 26th place amongst those 30 teams. Now, as you head into the new fiscal year, The top CEO comes to you and says, you know what? How do we plan on boosting revenue in 2026? Can you imagine looking at the CEO of the company and you say, I mean, all the guys that underperformed last year, I got a hunch they're going to be a lot better. I mean, are you hiring any new employees? Are you employing any new business strategies? Are you bringing in some fresh voices? Like, what's your plan here? Nope. All the guys that underperformed last year, they're now going to turn the corner and we're going to be good. Okay, good luck. The Royals were 26th in offense last year. Of all the teams in Major League Baseball, they were 26th out of 30 teams. Their business strategy for improvement was Isaac Collins and Lane Thomas. That's all they did. In the whole baseball, that was all they did. Is it any surprise to anybody that strategy was not a winning strategy? That was not a successful strategy? And now, guess what? Guess where the Royals are in offense this season? Just take a wild guess. They're 27th. How can anybody be surprised an offense that struggled last year to score runs and was bottom 5 in baseball? You made minimal improvements to it, so you saw no improvements to the offense. I mean, some of this is it's common sense 101. That's what's so flooring to me about it is they had really no set strategy this offseason and are surprised that their strategy is not working. Well, your offense was terrible. You did nothing to your offense. It just stayed terrible. So are you now planning on switching some things up, doing something dynamic and drastic, and seeing if you can shake up the offense a little bit? But they don't do a whole lot to switch things up in the offseason. And then in season, they keep putting the same lineup out there every single day, expecting their offense to turn around. Well, I'm here to report to you, boys and girls, it did not improve itself. I just don't know how you can be surprised at the outcome when you look at what their income has been.
What's frustrating is, and I know it's not just us. There were a lot of people who were believers that everyone took a step forward. Jeff Passan was a believer in the Royals. Jeff Passan.
A lot of people thought the Royals were going to be good this season.
It wasn't some we're trying to sell rainbows and unicorns because they're down the street from the office. Like, this was a popular opinion. On top of everything, they were really selling that Kaggs and Carter Jensen were stars. Speaking of Jeff Passan, I remember reading his preseason breakdown. He said a dark horse to win Rookie of the Year was Carter Jensen. Like, I don't think Jensen or Kaggs have been bad, so don't take it this way, but they have not been transcendent. So the Royals' plan was, we have 2 transcendent rookies or first-year or second-year guys. They're going to take the next step forward. We got all the other pieces, and we're good. Well, their 2 players have not been transcendent, and when you start to look around and see regression in other places, you start to feel it. And to make matters so much worse about this season, and the frustration I have with the Royals is, Bobby Witt is playing at an MVP level every single night. And the Royals are 10 games under 500 and might not break 500 again this season. And me and you are doing a funeral service on May 21st, and they might have the MVP at shortstop. That is an insane waste of talent by the Royals. The fact it's all gone this wrong when you have that player out there it's just banana land to me.
Let's switch gears. I imagine we'll come back to the Royals at some point. 913-586-7965. If you have a Royals thought, send it in. I'll read it. Rob does not want to hear your voice, but he does not mind if you text into the show. 913-586-7965. So if you have a Royals thought, I would just say that that's probably the best place to communicate those thoughts with us here on The Drive. So I want to have our weekly edition of Spec Says. So we were all sitting and we were all talking about Victor Wembanyama, who is one of the most remarkable athletes that we have ever seen. And I asked Spec, I said, who would you consider to be a sports unicorn? And I said, don't tell me. Why don't you go make a list? And he said, you know what? I got you. So this is Spec's edition of his sports unicorns.
All right, C-Dot, here's my unicorns list following Victor Wembanyama's Game 1 performance in the Western Conference Finals. And before I give you my list, I do just want to qualify what I consider a unicorn. A unicorn is someone who has the physical stature that we've never seen before combined with the skill. So even though Lamar Jackson is maybe the greatest running quarterback that we've ever seen, that doesn't make him a unicorn. Steph Curry is not a unicorn just because he is the greatest shooter of all time. LeBron James may be the second greatest basketball player we've ever seen, but I don't think he's a unicorn. We've seen people of his size and skill, but we haven't seen them put it all together like he has. So I think there's been 4 in my lifetime that I would consider unicorns. The first, I think, is Usain Bolt. We've never seen anybody at his size run that fast. Second, I think for the time in which he entered our world, Tiger Woods was at one time a unicorn, right? Golf was made up of fat, white guys wearing bucket hats and visors. Tiger Woods comes along. He's jacked. He's hitting bombs. At the time, Tiger Woods was a unicorn, and he changed the way golfers look from 1999 to 2026. Third, I think, is Calvin Johnson. We've never seen a wide receiver with that level of speed, that level of size, and that level of physicality. And I do think Shohei Ohtani is my 4th unicorn. Since Babe Ruth, and that was way before any of our lifetimes, we've never seen a pitcher be able to throw 99 and hit 50 home runs and have 50 steals in a season. There are 4 unicorns in my lifetime, and I think it's Usain Bolt, Tiger Woods, Calvin Johnson, and Shohei Ohtani.
All right, so that is Specs' unicorn list. Now, I remember him telling me I'm not including Wemby because that's the basis of the conversation. Wemby did something yesterday that I've never seen a basketball player do. Rob, he missed a shot and then tracked his own miss and just caught it off the rim. And I'm just thinking, there's nobody uniquely physically put together to be able to do something like this. So Wemby is just, I've never seen a human being able to do some of the things that Wemby can do. There's one name on this list I'm strongly pushing back on. It's Calvin Johnson. Calvin Johnson was a beast. He's Megatron. Did Speck not see Randy Moss? Was Speck not around for the Randy Moss Minnesota Vikings time? Was Speck not around for the 07 New England Patriots that had prime Randy Moss on their team? Everything Calvin Johnson did was just an extension off of what I had already seen Randy Moss do. That doesn't mean that Calvin wasn't a dog in his own right, but Randy could have been an NBA basketball player. Randy could have been an Olympic track athlete, and he was a Hall of Fame wide receiver. I don't know if there's something physically that he could not do. He was just one of those kind of athletes. Yeah, so if you're putting Calvin Johnson on the list, then Randy Moss has to be on the list, and I wouldn't put Randy on this list. But if you're telling me that the list is of just true unicorns, true 101, Wemby, Bolt, Woods, and Shohei, I'm not mad at that list.
I'm saying this to someone who is probably too young to see the true greatness. Bo Jackson doesn't make this list? Everything you read or heard about Bo Jackson, I know the boss is a little bit older than us, so maybe it was just timeline, didn't get to see him. But there's a whole documentary, a whole mini-series about Bo being the one-of-one freak athlete, best we've ever seen. Now, Speck's going to say, hey, I didn't really get to see him. That's fine, but he has to be on a unicorn list.
I 100% agree with that. I'm with you.
That is my only beef with Speck's list. Now, maybe he's recording these. He's not going to talk for 22 minutes. And if he's saying I didn't really get to see Bo in his prime, that's fine. But Bo Jackson, if you have a 30 for 30 called Bo Knows, where you tell stories about being a professional baseball player, a professional football player, winning the Heisman, and then being a guy that people thought could have been a star in baseball, I think you have to have him on your list.
Yeah, someone on the text line says, C-Dot, you're nuts. Calvin Johnson is much more of a genetic freak than Randy Moss. Unicorns are genetic talent freak shows. Now I feel like we are just misremembering the time of Randy Moss. Randy Moss was 6'4", ran a 4.25 at his pro day, and had a 43-inch vertical. Yeah, that guy was uniquely physically talented. If you were back on the playgrounds during that time and you went up and you threw it up in the air and you caught it over somebody, we never said you got Calvined. We never said you got Megatron. No, you got Moss during a time. So I don't want to now misremember the kind of athletic, physical freak that Randy Moss was.
A lot of people in the text line are asking this, and I'm curious your opinion. I have my opinion, but I'm curious yours. Patrick Mahomes not a unicorn?
I would not put him on that list.
I wouldn't either. Patrick Mahomes is
incredible. I just wouldn't put him on this list.
I also think, as great as Pat is, I think we've seen versions of Pat and previous players, and now he's a amalgamation of all that greatness. But it's not like we've never seen anything like Shohei before. I wouldn't lie for Babe Ruth. So I have no problem with Spec not having Patrick Mahomes, but the text line has beef with 15 not making his list.
Now, I don't want to make it seem like I'm, a swimming expert. I don't even know how to swim myself. But I think when it comes to Michael Phelps, like where I would listen to the Michael Phelps argument is, there's just so many different variations of how you can swim, which I think uniquely positions it where you can just win a bunch of medals at it. That there really isn't another sport in the Olympics that just offers you up that many different abilities at your one thing to do it. It's not like Usain Bolt has 11 chances in the Olympics to win a gold medal. No, he really has 4. The 100 meter, the 200 meter, and then the relay, which is you dependent on other people's success. It's not like swimming where you get a breaststroke, a backstroke, freestyle. So I think that swimming in the Olympics uniquely positions itself where if you are the best at it, the way that Michael Phelps was clearly the best at it for a time frame, you can just rack up a lot of medals in a short period of time. The reason I would put Usain Bolt in this category is he won the 100 and 200 meter in 3 straight Olympics. He was the fastest man in the world for 12 consecutive years. That is insane. Everybody has run a race before. He is the fastest person ever to run in a race. That's why I think Usain Bolt has to be on this list.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you're going to put Bolt on a list, then you have to put Phelps. Like, I understand your point. Like, it's not like there's a butterfly, a freestyle, and like a breaststroke for running. But if you're going to tell me what Usain Bolt is doing is incredible across multiple Olympics, Michael Phelps did it across multiple Olympics too. Yes, he has Beijing. Beijing's the one we all talk about.
For sure.
But he was winning in Athens too. And he was winning in London too. So if you're going to have Usain Bolt, which I would be cool putting on the list, I think you then have to turn around and put Michael Phelps on the list because what he's doing is just as impressive.
Who are you adding to this list? Is there anybody that you are adding to this list? Because I'm taking Calvin Johnson off. I actually think it's kind of ridiculous that Calvin Johnson is on this list. I don't even know if he's the most unicorn wide receiver. Like, I would say Barry Sanders is more of a unicorn than maybe any football player we've seen. Now, think about all of the football highlights that you've seen. Have you ever seen, since Barry Sanders left the NFL, have you ever seen a running back do that kind of stuff before? Barry Sanders retired, 30 years ago? Tell me the closest to Barry Sanders. Because, I mean, Derrick Henry has been amazing. He don't look like Barry Sanders. Adrian Peterson, phenomenal. Doesn't look the way that Barry looked. Barry might be the most unicorn football player we've ever seen. I don't know if there's a football player that looked like Barry before him, and there certainly hasn't been since he retired from the Lions.
Yeah, I agree with that. Did he not have Caitlin Clark?
No.
Caitlin Clark has to make the list then. We have never seen a female basketball player like Caitlin Clark. She's very Steph Curry-like, so we've seen a player like that, but not in women's sports. I think Caitlin Clark has to be on the list.
Okay, you're putting Caitlin on the list. I was not expecting you to go a little Caitlin.
Have we ever seen a female basketball player?
No, we haven't. I'm with you. You putting Serena or Venus on this list?
I would put Serena too.
Okay. You got a lot of unicorns then.
I have 8 to 10.
Okay, my bad.
That's probably. I agree.
If there's that many unicorns, are they really a unicorn?
Can I say
the unicorn is supposed to be very unique. There's not a unicorn farm where there's a bunch of them. You just see a unicorn by themselves.
I mean, we don't see unicorns ever because they're fictional, but I get your point. I think there are far more unicorns in sports than Spec leads on.
Somebody on
like
the
Haley's
text line
comment.
is saying, what about Gronk? Okay, maybe this conversation has reached this conclusion. Now we're arguing Gronk was a unicorn. Like, what are we doing? Who doesn't love Gronk, but that's what we're doing? You've never seen an athlete like Rob Gronkowski before? Ever? He's like the best tight end from his era. That's when we know. That's when the text lines jump the shark. Text line's mad if Gronk's names that isn't included in this thing. All right. Coming up on the other side, you guys are going to make fun of me, but I've learned something over the last week. I'll tell you what it is. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circa Sports. From baseball to basketball, hockey to golf, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circa Sports has you covered. Download the Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Well, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here. Let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you have poor sleep? What about low energy? How about brain fog, a reduced sex drive, weight gain, and workouts that just don't deliver like they used to? Well, the problem could be low testosterone. And the truth is, those testosterone levels can start declining as early as your 30s, 2 or 3% every single year. And before you know it, you just don't feel like the same man you did back in the day. Well, you don't have to accept this as just aging. Heartland Men's Health specializes in customized testosterone therapy and targeted body composition plans. You might think you have low T. Well, pick up the phone and call this number, 844-447-6600, or check out the website and take this simple 10-question quiz. Visit heartlandmenshealth.com. Your initial visit is just $100, includes a medical consultation, a PSA test, and lab results in about 30 minutes, and your treatment can start that day. 3 locations, Overland Park, Independence, North Kansas City. There's no need to wait. Go stop by and see my friends over at Heartland Men's Health.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Steve here with Connolly Plumbing Solutions. Outside faucets are annoying. We are currently running our outside faucet replacement special of $399 with access. Visit ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com to schedule.
Memorial Day's almost here, and I've got a better plan than sweating in the kitchen or over the grill. I'm letting Hy-Vee handle all of the food. I'm ordering my party trays right through the Hy-Vee app. Whether I want custom builds or their huge grab-and-go selection like charcuterie, wings, seafood, sandwiches, or smoked meat, it's all there. A quick stop at their massive wine and spirits department, and I'm done. One convenient stop for the perfect party. So this Memorial Day, let Hy-Vee handle everything, from the food to the beverages, only at Hy-Vee.
If the high cost of filling up is weighing you down, lighten your load this Memorial Day at Hy-Vee. Save 25 cents per gallon on fuel with every $35 purchase. Stock up on groceries and stack up the fuel savings. Earn 25 cents per gallon with your $35 purchase, 50 cents per gallon with a $70 purchase, and so on. The more you spend, the more you'll save. Your next fill-up could be free. Don't miss the Memorial Day Fuel Saver event Monday, May 25th, only at Hy-Vee.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My dad passed away unexpectedly. Of course, it was awful in every way, but we are very grateful that he had life insurance. So even after he was gone, he was still able to provide for us. And that's why I have life insurance for my family. Ethos.com. They make it fast and easy to get covered. It's 100% online. You get a quote in seconds, and you can apply in minutes and get covered the same day.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/protect. That's ethos.com/protect. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Rates may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling.
I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This afternoon, expect rain showers with a slight chance of thunderstorms and a high of 65.
Weather brought to you by Capital One. Capital One offers no fees or minimums on checking accounts. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank guide. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Subscribe to 96.5 The Fan on YouTube to watch the show from wherever you are.
Coming up at the top of the hour, you will hear from Peter Woods. He was drafted 29th overall in this year's NFL draft. He now plays for your Kansas City Chiefs. All right, I have two quick things I would like to share with you guys before we catch up with Peter Woods. The first thing, I fear you guys are going to laugh at me for just noticing this, but I honestly just started to notice this week. So you guys know that I am on a little bit of a fitness journey. I'm not trying to get buff, but you know what? I just want to lean up a little bit. I just want to live a healthier lifestyle and just move a little bit more. So right now, Rob, I'm kind of stuck in the fitness algorithm. A lot of workouts, a lot of meal prep, a lot of those things. And it's been real motivating to work out. And you're seeing new workouts and things you can implement and things that you can add to your diet and what's good for you and what's bad for you. Rob, you're going to laugh at me for this. You know Aldi, the grocery store, they got a lot of good deals in there. I went in there to kind of get my meal prep ready for the week because I want to stay eating right. I know the holidays coming up. It's going to be all this temptation to eat poorly, but I'm like, no, you know what? I got to stay firm. I got to continue to eat right and do what I'm supposed to do. And then I'm looking on there and I'm like, oh man, they got so many deals in here. I had no clue. I had never been in here before. I've been a Hy-Vee price chopper, man. Little did I know this entire time, Aldi was keeping all the secrets from us. Rob, why did you not share this with me? You had this information. You knew this and didn't tell me that Aldi was the key to proper fitness. I blame you. I hold you responsible for this.
How am I held responsible? Do I look like the workout warrior, eat right guy?
You eat.
I do eat better than you.
I've never seen you eat fast food before. Every day, I don't know if you make your own lunch or your wife makes your own lunch. You always eat very nice. You have a little diet soda. I look at you. Maybe you're not trying to eat healthy, but I've never seen you walk in with a Chick-fil-A bag before or McDonald's. You're one of the healthiest eaters that I know.
There's a difference between eating not bad and eating good. I fall in the not bad category. I'm not at Aldi being like, or Whole Foods, let me find my groceries. It's more of a, okay, I can pass on Burger King today.
I really had no clue. I went in there in Aldi's. I got some vegetables, got a little protein, got a little chicken breast. You know, I'm really trying to stay committed to this thing. 90 days. It's day 4 for me. I learned something new about Aldi. I wish somebody had shared this with me a long time ago. This guy, when I was driving in there earlier, a guy pulled up behind me. He had a Porsche. And I was like, you know what? If he thinks this is a good idea, then it's a good idea. I had no clue, no idea. I'm mad at you guys for not sharing this with me. Text line 913-586-7965. I had no clue. Now this part I'm being serious about, Rob. I had no clue that I think there's a stigma in eating healthy means A, you have to eat foods that you don't like, and also B, it's really expensive. Like I think we have poorly branded eating healthy. I really do. I think we've poorly branded it. But no, I'm learning more and more. Oh, I can still eat a lot of the foods that I already like. You just got to eat them in moderation. And it's not nearly as expensive as you think it is. I'm telling you, the people that want you to eat healthy, they got to do a better job at getting this message out there. That's why I'm here, to share this message.
They're losing the PR battle, is what you're saying.
100%.
The eat bad people are out here cooking them.
That's what I'm saying. I had no clue. Because when if you try to eat out healthy, it's way more expensive than just getting you a double cheeseburger or getting you a McDouble or a McChicken. So they make it seem like, oh, if you want a healthy option, it's really expensive. No, if you actually do the work for yourself, it's really not that bad. Nobody gave me this information. Nobody told me this. TikTok told me this. I knew that app was going to be able to benefit me. I had a good idea that one day I would learn something from that thing. And look at me, I've learned something. I also learned something else today from TikTok.
Stay off the weed.
Well, you know what? I'm not against you guys smoking weed, so I got a little bit of information.
Roll another blunt. Yeah.
Now, Rob, did you know that on the TSA website, you guys can check this for yourself. Did you know that on the TSA website, they changed the marijuana rules? Because maybe you've been in this situation, Rob, maybe you haven't. I'm not asking you to incriminate yourself. But maybe you had some gummies and you were trying to figure out how you were going to get it on the plane. And you were sitting there terrified. You see that little dog walking back and forth, and you are for sure that dog's going to start barking, and all of a sudden they're going to think that you Pablo Escobar, and now they're about to put you under the jail. But I'm here to share with you guys that if you're somebody that would maybe like to travel with the sticky icky, they recently changed the rule on the TSA website. They are not checking for the sticky icky if it's less than an ounce and if you have a medical card. So go get a medical card. That's not hard to get in 2026 if you want to smoke the sticky icky. And maybe you want to carry it on the plane with you. You can now carry it on the plane and you ain't got to be as worried about it anymore. Just go get you a medical card. If you don't believe me, Google it. Go on the TSA website. You'll see what I'm saying. It's true. This segment's about helping people. That's what it's about. It's about helping people.
I'm confused how we pivoted from eating healthy in Aldi to smoking from Of the Earth, but
I'm trying to give you a healthy option as well. That's another healthy option to do.
I feel like when you go to Of the Earth, you're not usually finishing it off with a salad. So I don't know it is the healthy option. I don't even want to be like, hey, you know what I get the munchies I do? I eat a protein bar. I don't think that's how people celebrate.
I don't know. I'm just telling you, I'm here. I'm trying to pass on this information to other people because I fear that other people have been in this situation before, that you got a little something, you got some gummies, you're worried about bringing it on the plane with you because you don't want to get stopped. Nobody wants to get stopped in this scenario. So now that's why I'm trying to help you. And I'm not telling you to do it. I'm just saying now that you know, you should go on the TSA website and you should Google it for yourself and find out all the information, because I don't want the TSA person tapping you on the side and asking you to come over to the side and now they got to go through your bag. I don't want that for you.
Asking people to Google that on their work computer feels like you're getting people fired around the city.
You got your phone right then and there. You ain't got your phone on you.
Corporate computer, you're gonna hey,
TSA weed laws.
Tomorrow before you head on the long holiday weekend, I need you to swing by the office, champ. You're getting people fired.
People's jobs be doing that.
Firing
I'm
people?
not even trying to. Obviously, people get fired at their job. I'm saying is right now, Rob, if you Googled TSA marijuana laws, you think that Roxanne comes up here and just says, hey, Rob, I need to talk to you. And she has your computer history and just says, hey, you were Googling this. We need your key card. You think that's how that story? And that's what I'm asking. Maybe that happens at other people's job. I don't know, because nothing would happen if you Google that right now on your computer. Not a single thing would happen.
Maybe not Googling that, but there are definitely things where if you Google them at work, you are potentially in trouble.
Okay, that's why I was asking. That's why I want to know. Everybody's job is different.
There are things you could Google here and get in trouble. I'm not going to give you the list. I can see your brain moving.
You think I work for ISIS? I wouldn't encourage you to do those things. I don't know why I would do those things. That's why I was wondering. In our employee handbook, someone told me this before. The only thing that it says about marijuana is you can't be impaired while doing your show. That's the only thing in our employee handbook about marijuana. I'm not encouraging you to go out and smoke, Rob, but I'm here to just, it's been in the news lately because of Rashid Rice.
Stay off the weed.
So I just want to pass information because that's what we do. That's what this segment was about.
All people in this company to have read the employee handbook. I'm legit stunned it's you.
Okay, well, that's why I'm here. I'm just here to,
You do none of the corporate trainings, but you sat down and read the handbook cover to cover?
I've been suspended twice, so at some point I had to read it. At some point I was like, hey, can y'all suspend me for this? One of the times I got suspended was telling the story of how I bought the sticky of the icky, and they pinned me up. Got suspended 2 days, no pay. Yeah, it wasn't fun. That's when I had to read the employee handbook. Now you know. Look at that. That story came full circle. Coming up at the top of the hour, we are joined by Peter Woods. He's the 29th overall pick in the NFL draft, one of the newest members of the Chiefs. We'll get to learn more about him. Keep it right here. So Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison and Rob Brenton.
You losers is what you are.
On your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. When severe weather hits, tune in to 98.1 KMBZ for Operation Stormwatch. Brought to you by Century Roofing. Proudly voted the #1 roofing company in all of Kansas City. CenturyRoofingKC.com.
Dispatch, this is Mindy at CM Mo's & Sons Electrical, HVAC, and Plumbing.
You don't have to put off fixing plumbing problems in your home anymore. I mean, you could just ignore that clogged drain or visit cmmosandson.com to take care of your plumbing problems. CM Mo's & Son, license 205366.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-518-3899. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-518-3899. That's 800-518-3899. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
Lunch was great, but this traffic is awful.
Can we stop at a bathroom?
Are you all right?
I keep having stomach issues after eating, like diarrhea, gas and bloating, abdominal pain, and sometimes oily stools.
Sound familiar? Those stomach issues may actually be a pancreas issue called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Creon pancrelipase may help manage EPI. Creon is a prescription medicine used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. Call 800-633-9110 or visit creoninfo.com to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
I'm asking my doctor about EPI and if Creon could help.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it. Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
Shawnee Mission Ford. On a mission to do more. Visit our inventory at ShawneeMissionFord.com.
Hey, it's Cole, and I have exciting news. Ford has announced employee pricing for everyone. Over at Shawnee Mission Ford, you pay what they pay, and you still get the rebates and incentives offered by Ford, along with the top trade-in value from Shawnee Mission Ford, who's on a mission to do more in 26.
Listen all week long to Fesco and Dusty at 9:20 for Name That Country to qualify for a $500 gift card to Hy-Vee for your soccer tournament watch parties this summer. Score big when you shop Hy-Vee for official soccer apparel, souvenirs, and your favorite tailgating eats and treats all in one place. 96.5 The Fan. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch all your favorite shows, shorts, and clips. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Let's get things back on track. Earlier today, I had the opportunity to talk to Peter Woods. Peter Woods plays football. He played football at the University of Clemson. He now plays football for the Kansas City Chiefs. He was the 29th overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. He is from Alabama, but went to Clemson. Our conversation started with, how did you not go to Auburn or Alabama?
Those were 2 great universities, but really it just came down to, Coach Sweeney and just, believing in him and his ability to develop me holistically as a man and as a player. Having Coach Eason there was important too. So, I was just choosing the better of 3 great schools.
Which one of those schools came after you more heavily? Was it Auburn or Alabama?
I think Alabama jumped on me first. Clemson never really offered anyone until after their junior year, just for their personal reasons. Alabama probably jumped on me the first school out of the 3.
How hard was it to say no to Nick Saban?
Me and Coach Saban still developed a really good relationship, to this day. So I feel like it was, less saying no to Nick Saban and just, saying yes to myself and my future and what felt like it was the best decision for me.
Growing up as a kid, which program did you lean to more? Because, when you grow up in Alabama, I imagine they make you choose.
Yeah, definitely. I was definitely an Alabama fan growing up. Very passionately Alabama.
What was it like to watch that kick 6? That had to be like one of those heartbreaking moments for you.
Yeah, I cried. It was a tough night. In the Woods household. My dad is a big time Alabama fan as well, so it was definitely a different feeling that we weren't used to.
That's one of those moments in sports that you remember exactly where you were and you just can't believe what you're watching.
Yeah. I was sitting on a couch, actually in the basement of my house, watching on our screen TV in our basement, sitting with my dad, and the game looked like it was probably about to be over. Then he catches the field goal and starts running down the sideline, and I swear every single person he passes is going to tackle him, and then he got into the end zone. It was just kind of like the distraught on everybody's face that was in the room. It's just, you really can't even speak on it. You really had to be there. So it was good.
Which rivalry would you say is more intense, the one between you and Hoover or the one you had in college between Clemson and South Carolina?
Clemson and South Carolina, without a doubt.
Peter, I don't know a whole lot about that rivalry. I'm here from Kansas City. I'm a Mizzou fan, so we hate Kansas. I hate Kansas the way that you hate South Carolina. What makes that Clemson-South Carolina rivalry so intense?
I I would just say that the state ain't as big as the other states that are playing in rivalries. So it's just a lot less room to breathe, as I like to say. So, the only thing I can really say about my rivals is that we play in the same state together.
You played in some big games in college. We'll break it down. What was the craziest atmosphere you remember at home when you were at Clemson?
Golly, had to be one of the close games. But that Clemson versus LSU night game to start the season last year was super electric. Just super highly anticipated. Two really good teams coming into the season. I'd have to say that was pretty dope, and for that to be a season opener too, that was dope.
Let's now take it to a road environment. Was there ever a time you went on the road and you're just looking around and you're like, man, it's a lot of people here?
We played Texas at the playoffs, but it'd be kind of crazy if I didn't mention South Carolina road games, which are one of my favorite games. Their fans are very passionate, for lack of a better term. So, I'm always excited to go in South Carolina and play on there.
Right now, we're talking to Peter Woods for a couple more minutes, just learning a little bit more about him. I imagine draft day is a day that you had thought about for a very, very long time. Like, man, what's it going to be like? The emotion. What am I going to wear? All of those things. What was it like when it actually got there and to get that phone call that you had been selected into the National Football League?
It was a magical moment. I'd always, envisioned for as long as I knew what the draft was about. Everybody asked me, like, do you want to go to the draft? Do you want to, have a party, or what do you want to do? And I always envisioned that moment, being with, like my family and my village and the people who, had a lot to do with, who I am today as a man or even as an athlete, whether you dropped me off at practice or you were my mom, you were there every step of the way, just having those people around me in a nice, homey environment and being able to celebrate because, we celebrate small wins as a family. We celebrate big wins as a family as well. So very appreciative of that experience.
Peter, when did you know that you had a chance to play in the National Football League? Because some guy's story is, they're this 2-star recruit and they kind of pop up out of nowhere. Then they're a junior in college and they realize this is realistic. You were highly touted. You were an All-American. You had your choice of going to Auburn, Alabama, Clemson. You probably could have went to any school that you wanted. When did you realize, hey, I really got a chance to go to the National Football League if I do what I need to do?
I mean, it's going to sound crazy, but as long as I played in the game and knew what that process was like going from high school to college to the NFL, I don't think I ever didn't believe myself to be able to, be in this position. There were a lot of decisions and stuff that I had to make or not make, along the way to be able to, actually attain that. But I don't think there was ever not a belief that I would be here.
There's a lot of Chiefs fans who haven't seen you play that are certainly about to, whether they drive up to St. Joe or catch you in the preseason or waiting to the regular season. What do you want people to know about your game and how you play?
I think I'm physical, I'm vicious, I'm explosive, and, I bring, something different to the D-line game. As far as versatility, that's something that I pride myself on. And, everything else you just have to see.
I'll get you out of here rapid fire style, learn a little bit more about you. When you were 12 years old, who was your favorite player, whether it was college or pros?
Aaron Donald wasn't even in the league yet. 12 years old, had to be Brady. I had to be on the Brady bandwagon. He was with New England then. Yeah, that's when he was, in his glory days.
Peter, it's so crazy when you say that Aaron Donald wasn't even in the league, and then I just did a quick Google search, and you were in the class of 2023, and I graduated high school in 2006. Like, what are we doing here,
That's insane. That's a lot to think about. That's a lot to digest.
For sure. It absolutely is. Peter, I don't know your relationship status, but for this question, let's just assume that you're a single eligible bachelor. You got a little bit of money. You had money in college. You got picked in the first round. I'm imagining that the girls like you just a little bit. Let's imagine that you have a young lady come over and she wants to see you cook. She wants you to make a home-cooked meal. What are you cooking in this scenario?
That's a good question. Salmon is probably like my favorite food. So I'll probably do like some type of salmon, probably like a lemon butter type of glaze. So probably make like a lemon sauce or something like that. And then probably do like a stuffing little sauce I can put on top of it. Cream cheese, spinach, bacon type of deal. Whip it with some, and whip it together. Put it on top. like a stuffed salmon type of thing, if you will.
Last question, I'll get you out of here. What's the best advice that you've gotten from a fellow football player? It could be a current player. It could be a former player that just wanted to pass some wisdom to you. What's the best piece of advice you've gotten?
When I got to college, and I was kind of a young freshman who was going to have to play a lot for my team, one of my vets told me, it's not what you do that's required of you. It's about what you do, when you're not required or expected to do it. That sets you apart from everybody else. So I just always kind of wear that on my shoulder and keep that in the back of my head that, I must do what's more than what's required or expected to be different than everybody else. You're doing the same workouts as everybody else. You're going to more than likely have the same results if y'all doing it the same way. So just finding ways to to get a competitive edge.
Have you ever been starstruck by another football player? Because I'll tell you my story. Like, I've done this job long enough that, I don't just get starstruck. But I got a chance to meet Cam Newton one time. And Cam Newton, that year at Auburn, I had never seen anything like it. He was like a superhero to me. So when I got a chance to meet him, he had all the fashion on and the hat. And I was like, that's Cam Newton. Have you ever felt that way about a football player? You're like, oh, man, that's fill in the blank.
Oh, so many times growing up, for sure. I can't even think of – I've had the privilege to meet a lot of guys. I can't even think of one specific time where I've been starstruck. Even as a kid, even as a college football player, transition to the NFL, you still like, man, I get to share the field with Patrick Mahomes, somebody that I've been watching playing the game with for years. So, it's all really just a blessing in itself.
That is Peter Woods joining us on the show today. Happy to have him on. He was the 29th overall pick in the NFL draft this year. Peter, man, we look forward to catching up with you down the line as your NFL journey continues, man. Congratulations and good luck, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. That's Peter Woods joining us on the show today. If you missed any part of that conversation, be sure to check it out on the podcast page. I know this information was out there, but it's something that I don't really think about. Rob, Peter Woods graduated high school in 2023. 2023. Just think about that. When did you graduate high school, Rob? 08?
2009.
09? He graduated high school in 2023. He graduated high school, was that 5 years into Patrick Mahomes' career? So when he says, somebody I've been watching for a long time, he's not telling you a fib. He was watching Patrick Mahomes when he was in middle school. Now they're on the same team together. Is that not crazy to anybody else? Am I the only person that we're up in age where that's when these guys were starting to graduate high school?
He said when he was 12, Aaron Donald wasn't in the league. That broke my brain when he said it.
Crazy.
Also, I know we got to go to break. The dinner he would make, he's a better cook than anyone we've had on this show. Short of Mitchell Schwartz. I thought he was going to say something like, I don't know, maybe I'll grill some. But salmon with a lemon butter sauce, and then I'll whip up some spinach, bacon, and cream cheese like a glaze. I was like, whoa, not the answer I thought was coming.
Yeah, you want to know where he got it from? Probably from Aldi. He probably went for Aldi to get all them ingredients.
You think between NIL and the NFL, he's at Aldi? No chance. He's at Whole Foods.
He should be. Now, I don't want you to clip this, Rob. Don't post this on the internet. Please don't post this. I could understand why somebody would go play basketball at Kansas. I understand it. They do a good job they only have you come in for the big moments. Oh, we're playing UConn. Why don't you sit right behind the bench? Oh, we're having late night at the Fog. We got Arizona at home. Why don't you pull up? We'll get you a good seat. I can understand when you go to late night at the Fog and you see it's that many people here for a scrimmage. Oh, it's different here. I want to go. I don't know how you can be from Alabama. You play defensive line in Alabama. Nick Saban calls and says, I want you to come to Alabama. I don't know how you go to a different school. I don't know. I don't know what Clemson was offering. I don't know what Alabama was offering, but Nick Saban called me, and then he just read to me every first-round pick he's ever had at my position and tells me I could be the next one to do it. I don't know. I'm going to play football there. That's where I'm going to take my talents to for the next 3 years. I mean, it obviously worked out for Peter. Congratulations. He had a great college career, first-round pick, played in the college football playoff, won the ACC. I mean, he had a lot of success while he was there. I don't want to minimize it, but just you're from Alabama and you had a chance to go pay for the Crimson Tide and you said no to it. That's wild to me.
I don't know. I could do it. If Nick Saban called and said, listen, you're next, I don't know. I'd be like, nah, I'm going to play for Dabo.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm asking, Coach, when do you need me here? Whenever you tell me you need me on campus, that's when I'll be there. Salute to Peter Woods. Happy that he was on the show today. Be sure to check it out on the podcast page. All right, I got a question. These are the kind of things we got to do when the Royals are 10 games under 500. I got to get into my Chiefs hypothetical bag. I think I'm one of the best at it. Let's say that there is a trade right now in line, no draft picks, player for player, straight up. Let's say it's Creed Humphrey for A.J. Brown. Which team do you think says no to that trade? We'll debate it next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan.
When you're ready to paint your home, you want it done right the first time. That's why I trust CertaPro Painters. They aren't just a service. They're local professionals with over 70,000 five-star reviews. From the detailed proposal to the final brushstroke, the entire process was completely worry-free. Get professional painting at the right price. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro Painter's business is independently owned and operated right here in Kansas City. So you're dealing with local. It's CertaPro.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I was just at Staples. They're having a huge 40th anniversary sale.
40 years. Note to self, send flowers.
Up to 50% off. Save on chairs, paper, balloons, and more.
Balloons?
Yeah, Party City is now at Staples.
Surprise!
But the anniversary sale is only 2 weeks, so...
Quick, celebrate 40 years of savings at Staples with up to 50% off. Shop chairs, paper, break room supplies, and more. 2 weeks only in 523.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or on the app.
The wild weather this spring has brought hail to New Century Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Paola. What that means is they've got plenty of new and used cars and trucks with light cosmetic hail damage. New Century is having a hail of a sale to clear them all out. You can save as much as $15,000 and still receive all the factory incentives. The hail of a sale will not last long at New Century Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Remember, you always pay less in Paola. See dealer for details.
Hey guys, it's Rob Brennan from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the upcoming World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And I'm Scott Parks from Dane and Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch KC features the biggest names who helped make the World Cup in Kansas City possible. And there was a lot of work, plus the major storylines heading into this summer's tournament.
This is so much more. This isn't just a podcast about soccer.
No, you're right, Rob. It's a podcast about Kansas City, for Kansas City, telling the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes drop every Wednesday starting on March 4th, along with video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ social channels.
So make sure you subscribe. Download Beyond the Pitch KC with Rob Brennan and myself, Scott Parks, on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it. Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. The countdown to the World Soccer Championship is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Visit bluekc.com/benefit of blue for more information. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Problem 35 southbound, Cambridge Circle, right lane is blocked. That is a stall. And again, the biggest problem we've got is out towards Odessa, and that's the 70 eastbound just past exit 37B, a wreck involving several vehicles. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Trey Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to the Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Can I take a quick detour before we talk about this hypothetical trade? One of my friends, their dad told me that most people stop working out within the first 3 weeks. And ever since he told me that, I've been really trying to think of the why. Like, why is that? Why do people go into it and they have this excitement and they have this plan and then it quickly fades? And Rob, I think I have figured it out. Number one, people maybe don't see the results as quickly as they want to see them. Like, man, I've been going to the gym, I've been working out, and nothing has happened, and they just get discouraged and they just quit. I think that's probably pretty high on the list as well. And Rob, I have determined now the second reason why people start working out, start going to the gym, and then quit within 3 weeks is your body just hurts, and there's really nothing you can do about it. So, I was lifting a little bit of weights, and I came in here, and Spec told me, he said, in 2 days, it's going to really hurt. And Rob, you were there, and I was like, man, it's not even that big of a deal. Like, I feel really good, and, I stretched, and I took a little ibuprofen, like, I don't think it's going to be that bad. Rob, I'm telling you right now, I feel like my muscles are on fire. My arms just hurt. How long is it going to hurt like this? Do you know? Do you have an idea? Am I just going to be like this for the next couple of weeks? Because I could certainly understand somebody's arms just hurting. And it's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be a part of this activity anymore. How long is it going to be like this? Text line 913-586-7965. How long am I not going to be able to give full range of motion in my arms?
Listen, I am by no metric the person to come to when it comes to exercise tips.
I was just curious.
I will say this, and I don't mean to throw him under the bus, but it was funny today. We're in the newsroom. We share a newsroom 98.1. You were talking to Sam Stevie over at 98.1. Yeah. He is much more a workout warrior than either of us. And you were describing this sensation to him, and he said, doesn't that pain feel good? Doesn't it make you do more? That's why I don't work out. The idea that pain is good at 35 years old, no thanks. I already hurt my back sleeping wrong. I don't want to sign up for that pain 3 days a week. No, that's horrible.
Somebody said that's the best part. No, that's not the best part of this experience. The best part of this experience is not my arms hurt. It hurts. It's not fun. I mean, it's manageable for sure. Like I can get through it, but it's definitely not fun. It's not fun at all. Someone said I can't emphasize the massage gun enough. Oh, I had Sam send me a link for one. I gotta get one. I gotta get one because this stinks. I mean, my arms, they just hurt. There's nothing I can do about it. I was trying to sleep yesterday before bed. I was like, you know what, man, let me wind down a little bit. My heart level was all up because of the NBA playoffs. I mean, the Spurs and the Thunder, it's a good game back and forth, and I'm like, let me watch something to wind down a little bit. So I started watching The Crash. Have you seen that yet on Netflix, the documentary, The Crash?
I have not seen The Crash yet.
So I started watching the crash, and I'm just like, you know what? Let me just settle down. And in the middle of watching, I'm just like, why do my arms feel this way? Why does it hurt so much? The text line is like, oh, that's good. You'll miss it after a while. No, I won't. There's not a part that's like, man, you know what I'm going to miss when I couldn't move my arms. No, that's not a feeling I want to get to. You sound, what's that saying from Shawshank? How Brooks was? Institutionalized. That's what it sounds to me. Institutionalized. I don't want to get to that point.
I'm stunned by the amount of people listen to this show that work out. That's what I'm learning. Text line's like, you got to just push through that pain, man.
I mean,
it's
I'll
worth
be in
it.
there. The gyms don't be empty. There be people in there. On the little Planet Fitness app, it'll tell you, like, it'll give you a gauge of how packed the gym is. I kind of like that. Like, oh, okay, it's kind of busy right now. Maybe I shouldn't go up there right now. I don't want to embarrass myself. But I like when the bar is low. I like when it's like 1 or 2. I like when it's 1 or 2, you know? That's when I like to go in there.
Nice and empty.
Yeah, for sure. Text line 913-586-7965. A lot of people are suggesting the massage gun. Yeah, I gotta get one of those because this is not fun. This is not something I can sign up for.
It's a Theragun, isn't that what it's called? Theragun?
Yeah.
I mean, I see.
I mean, I know you know. You know what? They should get that. Darren Peterson, he should be doing something like that.
You should take creatine.
They should be. No, I'm okay. I'm okay.
But drink water.
I'm okay. This guy that called, he's very upset that nobody answered the phone. He sent me a very scathing thing on here. I was not the person who didn't answer the phone. Rob didn't answer the phone.
This is scathing. He's mad at
He
you.
was mad on the text line. That's Rob's fault. I don't mind blaming Rob when Rob is the culprit for it. I don't mind it. I'll take responsibility for a lot of things. I'll blame Rob.
Except for it never sticks. People see you in the streets like, why do you hate running backs? Like, that's not me. It's 100% not me.
Yeah, for sure. That is the worst. The worst part about the show is Rob's opinion somehow become my opinion. And then I got to like justify Rob. Like, that wasn't my take. Why are you mad at me for this take? I didn't have anything to do with that. All right. I was thinking this, and partly why I was thinking this is because we're at the portion of the sports calendar where you guys start to turn on the Royals and you don't want to hear the Royals at all. Now, I love you guys. I hope you know that. And we have a little fun back and forth on the text line, but it's all in good fun. But we are quickly coming to this part of the cycle. When we talk NBA, you guys get mad because you don't watch the NBA. Well, then we try to talk about the Rashee Rice story, but then you're beating a dead horse and you don't want to hear that again. So the Royals are terrible. So you rather us talk about anything else other than the Royals. Like, there's no winning with you guys. So sometimes, you know what? I got to come up with a good Chiefs hypothetical. I just got to come up with something because we can't just talk for 30 minutes and I get to go home. That's not the way my contract is set up. I got to be here until 6 o'clock. So you got to be here until 6 o'clock. I was wondering this. Let's say that there was a trade that was proposed. Let's say that Roger Goodell said, you know what? I want to shake the NFL up. I propose A.J. Brown for Creed Humphrey straight up. No picks, straight up. Chiefs need a wide receiver. I want to try to give them a wide receiver straight up. Creed Humphrey for A.J. Brown. Which general manager between Howie Roseman and Brett Veach, which general manager do you think says no to that trade? Do you think it's the Eagles or the Chiefs?
So I think it's the Chiefs. And I think Chiefs fans will agree with the logic that this is what Brett Veach would say. Brett Veach's game plan has always been, we just got to protect Pat, protect Pat, protect Pat, protect Pat. Ever since that Super Bowl against the Bucs, the game plan has been protect Pat to the detriment of weapons. There is a clear line in the sand after that game. They then eventually traded Tyreek Hill. They didn't have interest in re-signing Sammy Watkins, which I kind of get. They didn't have interest in surrounding Pat with weapons. It was keep Pat upright. He won MVP in 2022 because he had a better offensive line and basically 1.5 weapons. He won another Super Bowl in 2023. The weaponry was legitimately bad, like really bad. The offensive line was good. So I think because Brett Veach has decided that Pat's job is to stay upright, and if he's upright, we're fine. Fans have fallen in line because Super Bowls have followed. So I think Brett Veach would say no, and I'm imagining Chiefs fans listening would applaud Brett Veach for saying no to that trade. I think fans in Kansas City value a center more than they do a wide receiver because they've seen Patrick Mahomes have success with me, you, Cody, and Gold running around at wide receiver.
Yeah, but this will be my question. Now, as I think Chiefs fans are potentially starting to come around to how important your number one would be and wanting to give Pat more weapons, also, you would, in this scenario, in this hypothetical, you would not be relying on Rashee Rice anymore. Like, you would have your legitimate number one wide receiver for the next 3 or 4 seasons. A.J. Brown's 28 years old. We're not talking about a guy who's 31 years old on the tail end of his career. We're talking about A.J. Brown, in my opinion, is a top 10 receiver in the league. He's been in the league for 7 years. He's had 1,000 yards for 6 of those seasons. He's been a dominant player at times. And I think if you put him in an offense like Kansas City with a quarterback that could just push the ball down the field a little bit better than the one that they have, you would get a pretty good version, I think, of A.J. Brown for the next 3 to 4 seasons or so. And I also think most people would agree with this. Wide receiver, if we are basing it on positional value, what's the greater position to have? I think wide receiver is ahead of center. I think the Eagles would say no because I think you could get something more valuable than Creed Humphrey if you were doing a straight-up trade. But if I was the Chiefs, I would do that trade. I would take A.J. Brown straight up for Creed Humphrey. But I'm with you. I don't think a lot of Chiefs fans would do it. I also don't think that Brett Veach would make that trade either.
This is one of those things where me and you are very much in line here, but we, I think, see it very, very differently than Brett Veach does. And I think Chiefs fans do. I would take A.J. Brown. I've been basically, ever since the draft ended, I've been saying they need a wideout. They need a wideout. That's before Rashee Rice decided that probation was just vibes and not apparently a real thing. So I am pro wide receiver. I don't know I want to pay the actual cost for A.J. Brown, but if the cost was one center, then yeah, sign me up. The Chiefs won a Super Bowl with Austin Ryder as their center. That happened. I was around. It existed. It transpired. Like last year, does anyone know, hey, who was the center for the Seahawks? No one knows. Outside of in Seattle, not a soul knows. So the key, I don't think center is a key cog in championship building. So I would do it, but I think Brett Veach would say no, and I think most Chiefs fans would follow Brett Veach's lead. Which is surprising to me, by the way.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, text line 913-586-7965. Would you trade Creed Humphrey straight up for A.J. Brown? No picks, no anything else, just would you trade him straight up for A.J. Brown? A lot of the text line is no, at least when it comes to this, which, I mean, I'm not really surprised. One guy's on your team. Why am I going to trade a guy that is pretty embedded into the culture and DNA of the team for somebody who at times feels like a little bit of a malcontent? But I'm with you. If you're giving me a chance at an all-pro level wide receiver, one of the top 10 wide receivers in the National Football League, a real deep threat, a real go up and go get it kind of guy, a real red zone threat, a guy who's been fairly healthy over the course of his career too and is still in the prime of his career, I think it's better to have A.J. Brown on your team than have Creed Humphrey on your team.
I could not agree more. And this is no disrespect to Creed Humphrey. Creed Humphrey is one of the top 3-4 centers in the NFL? He might be number 1 in the NFL. Like, it's not a position that I know all 32 offhand, but he is a elite top tier, S tier, as the kids are saying, center. But that position just holds very little value to me. And you're already paying a premium price for Trey Smith next to him. So in theory, you could be a little cheap at center and, put that burden on Trey Smith to be better in the interior. But Chiefs fans just will not make this trade. And it puzzles me.
Text line 913-586-7965. That was just one hypothetical I have. I actually have another one. We'll do that coming up at the top of the hour. Let's get back to the Royals. We began the show today talking about the Royals. The Royals are at the 50-game mark, and we've been trying to figure out what's going wrong with the Kansas City Royals. All right, Rob, let's talk about two of the individual players that you would say they are in this situation because these guys have not met the standard, so to speak. We're 50 games into the season. Vinny Pasquantino was hitting 194 for you this season. Now, Salvador Perez is kind of turning things around a little bit. He's heating up just a little bit. He's hitting 211. I think he's kind of starting to hit a hot streak. I think if you were trying to look at a disappointment. Like if you were trying to give out awards and like a negative, kind of like a Razzie, like we're not giving the Oscar out to Sinners. No, we're giving these are the worst movies of the years. I think the two biggest disappointments for the Royals have been the fact that we are in the exact same place with Cole Reagans that we were before. You remember, Rob, we did this topic back in the offseason, and I said, hey, if I show you the stats for one player on the team, who would you pick? A lot of people pick Cole Reagans because if you got the good version of Cole Reagans, this is probably a good team. That is obviously not the version that the Royals have gotten. He wasn't that great when he was pitching for the Royals, and now he's hurt, and you don't really know when Reagans is coming back. And then on the flip side, I mean, Vinny, this team isn't talented enough to deal with the amount of injuries that they've had to the rotation, and then also deal with the fact that you've gotten very little from your 3 and 4 spots on a night in, night out basis. And you also made very few additions to the rest of your roster. The Royals just felt stuck in a lot of ways. And I think stuck that might be too generous. They feel like they've regressed in a major way this season as well.
Yeah. Yes, they have regressed. I'm trying to think. I don't want to blame Cole Reagans because he's hurt. It is what it is. I think the Royals are betting on we're going to get elite pitching again. We have more depth this year than next year, and everyone that is hitting is going to either be better or the same. And not only do they suffer regression from players, which is already bad enough, like that, you don't ever want to go into the season like, hey, here comes regression, but they are suffering regression from their two most important bats. And I know that you're saying Salvi is starting to turn around a little bit. Salvi is not catching all that often, which is also part of the problem here. That you can't really have a solution in-house when you have a first baseman / catcher / DH who ain't really hitting. I know he homered the other night. That's great. It's all fine and dandy. But he is not living up to Salvi expectations. So I think the Royals' game plan was just keep having depth and having numbers in pitching. If we suffer regression, we have so much depth, and the offense will be better just because it will be better. And their two most important bats, or two of their three most important bats, have not just regressed, they've massively regressed. And that has, in a way, broken the season and the team more so than I think anything else. Like, we opened the show with what went wrong. Your 3 and 4 hitters stink. They're not just bad. They're awful. They are a drag on your offense. That is what has gone wrong.
I know that we have tried to tell ourselves that batting average doesn't matter anymore and that batting average is not important. But listen to this, Rob. So far through the first 50 games of the season, the third spot for the Royals in the lineup is hitting .214. The fourth spot for the Royals this season is hitting .202. The 5 spot for the Royals this season is hitting .197. I don't care what team you are. How can you function when every day the power of your lineup, the 3, 4, and 5 spot, these are supposed to be your big dog, run producers, home runs, these are supposed to carry your offense. How do you manage it when you are hitting .214, .202, and .197 in the heart of your lineup? It explains why you're 13th in the American League in runs and 27th out of the 30 teams in Major League Baseball. Yes, they've had some injuries when it comes to the pitching rotation, and maybe it exactly hasn't been the way that we projected it to be. Man, the Royals are in this situation because their offense continues to be bottom 5 in Major League Baseball, and aside from hope that their players develop, they have done very little to shake things up.
I'm not the world's biggest batting average fan. You know, I think it's a little bit of an overrated stat. But you can pick any stat, and we can do that. But same.
You also know that you can't be hitting 197 from the 5 spot.
Correct. But you could. There's like a dozen stats you could cherry pick to point that out. Let's use WAR. I like WAR. It's imperfect, but you know your 4 hitters doing WAR-wise? He's a minus player. He's hurting you when he's out there. How about your 3 hitter? Everyone loves Vinny Pasquantino. He's also a minus WAR. He's hurting you by being out there every day. OPS. I like OPS. On base plus slug. Either hitting the ball hard and getting extra base hits or getting on base. Your 4 hitter has an OPS of 600. Your 3 hitter has an OPS of 600. Only one player is really living up to expectations, Bobby Witt. Everyone else is just blah. So pick a stat. batting average, RBIs, home runs, OPS, OPS plus, on base percentage, WAR. We can name baseball stats for blue in the face. The 3, 4, and 5 hitters are failing by every single metric we judge baseball players by. Outside of, hey, do we like them and are they funny in commercials? There is not a metric that on the baseball field like, hey, that guy's just really good. That doesn't exist for the Royals this year.
Text line 913-586-7965. We'll read some of your text on the other side. We are 50 games into the baseball season, and we're trying to pinpoint exactly where things went so wrong for the Kansas City Royals. Maybe it's our fault because we had expectations coming into the season, and there was a legitimate buzz for the Royals after the WBC and then heading into it. Kansas City was the #1 market for the WBC. People were locked into baseball and were excited about this team heading into the season. And it has been a disaster so far for the Royals in the first half of the season. We'll talk Chiefs again coming up at the top of the hour. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Your off-season home for everything Chiefs football.
Talking about the top story, the Chiefs, they have a new offensive coordinator.
96.5, The Fan.
Well, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here. Let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you have poor sleep? What about low energy? How about brain fog, a reduced sex drive, weight gain, and workouts that just don't deliver like they used to? Well, the problem could be low testosterone. And the truth is, those testosterone levels can start declining as early as your 30s, 2 or 3% every single year. And before you know it, you just don't feel like the same man you did back in the day. Well, you don't have to accept this as just aging. Heartland Men's Health specializes in customized testosterone therapy and targeted body composition plans. You might think you have low T. Well, pick up the phone and call this number, 844-447-6600, or check out the website and take this simple 10-question quiz. Visit heartlandmenshealth.com. Your initial visit is just $100, includes a medical consultation, a PSA test, and lab results in about 30 minutes, and your treatment can start that day. 3 locations, Overland Park, Independence, North Kansas City. There's no need to wait. Go stop by and see my friends over at Heartland Men's Health.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
At Liberty Mutual, we love helping people with things like customizing car insurance, just like how we customize a song for you. Catered country tune. Liberty Mutual, saving you bucks by protecting your truck. 'Cause Birdie told me to only pay for what I need. Thank you, Limu. I'll always trust in Limu with Liberty, 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 Liberty.
Hey, it's Rob Britton from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And Rob, I'm Scott Parks from Dana and Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch KC will feature the biggest names who made the World Cup in Kansas City possible, plus the biggest storylines heading into this summer's tournament. This is not a podcast about soccer. Don't get us wrong. This is a podcast about Kansas City. This is a podcast for Kansas City. And this is a podcast that'll tell the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes will be released every Wednesday starting on March 4th, as well as video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ's social channels.
Subscribe and download to Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series with myself and Rob Bretton on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Now that Wendy's has these new biggie deals, everyone in the family can get what they're craving, from nugs to JBCs. The parental units can get an $8 Biggie bundle, the eldest who think they're so grown can get a $6 Biggie bag, and the little one who can do no wrong can get a $4 Biggie Bites. You know, assuming they have a credit card. No, I'm kidding. We take cash too. $4, $6, and $8 Biggie deals for the whole family. Only at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Rob Sight Ford, KC's Ford volume leader and top rated on Google. 135th and State Line. Rob Sight Ford, your 2025 Ford volume leader. Top rated on Google with 4.8 stars and 3,000 plus reviews. The best selection, best prices, and Kansas City's best customer service. Visit Rob Sight Ford at 135th and State Line. Buy right, save big, and drive home a winner. Only at Rob Sight Ford.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
The crash and its two cars, 70 eastbound just past Lee Summit. Right lane is blocked. The wreck in Odessa is cleared, so some of that backup will start to unwind. We've also got the two-car crash, 435 westbound just past State Line Road. Right lane blocked. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome to your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Coming up at the top of the hour, I have another Chiefs hypothetical. We will also, I don't know why this show has been uniquely positioned to point out the problems with the World Cup coming to Kansas City, but that's why we're here. We got another story from the Kansas City Star. It's not going so hot. We'll talk about it here coming up in a bit. But right now we're talking about the Kansas City Royals. And I'm here to tell you that I was hopeful this season for the Kansas City Royals. As I imagine, many of you were also hopeful about this team. This season was supposed to be different. The Royals had an incredible World Baseball Classic. They had a winning record last year. There was real hope and optimism around the Royals heading into this baseball season. But clearly it was misguided. And it is frustrating, at least to me, to take a look at the rest of the American League and see the teams that did take the jump this season. The Chicago White Sox. Now, they're probably not going to do anything this year, but at the 50-game mark, Chicago is above 500. To see the A's don't even have a home. Are they the Oakland A's? Are they the Sacramento A's? Are they Vegas? No one knows. They're in first place in their division. They got a legitimate chance of making the postseason. What's so frustrating about this season with the Royals is if the Royals were just average, if the Royals were basically what they were last year, they'd be in this thing. Maybe they wouldn't be in the division. I mean, the Guardians are probably going to run away with this thing. The Guardians have 10 more wins than the Royals. They're not catching the Guardians, but could the Royals have put themselves in the wild card picture? Of course they could have been in the wild card picture. If the playoffs started today, and I hate when people say that, but just for the purpose of this topic, if the playoffs started today, the third wild card team has a losing record. There's not a lot of good teams in the American League. All you had to do was be the best of the average teams. Nobody's saying you got to go win the SEC to make the college football playoff. Can you go win the American? Can you go win the Sun Belt? Can you be the best of one of those teams? The Royals couldn't even do that this season, and that's what frustrates me the most. The level of entry to make the playoffs has never been lower for a team in the American League. If you were just hovering around 500, you would be in a good situation. Rob, they couldn't even do that this season. There's only one team in the American League with fewer wins than they have, and it's the Angels. And the Angels have been stuck for 15 years now, it feels like. Mike Trout has been in one postseason series. They had Shohei Ohtani on their team, and they couldn't make the postseason. Everybody's been better than the A's the last 10 years, if you ask me, or the Angels.
I am very, very frustrated by this year's Royals season for all the reasons you laid out. But I also think if J.J. Piccolo keeps his job, which I think he will, but if he keeps his job, I honestly feel like if you're smart and during the season and you're smart in the offseason, you can return to the playoffs because of what you just said. Do we really think the A's are light years ahead of the Royals, and the fact that, like, oh, they're so far out in front of this rebuild for the Royals, like no one can touch them. The White Sox are just too talented. They've run right by the Royals. No, it went really wrong this year, or is going wrong this year. But if you're J.J. Piccolo, you're at one Royal way. You got to start thinking about how to bounce back, either in season or next season, because you mentioned it. You can make the college football playoff by winning the Sun Belt. That mediocrity is going to exist next year. I don't see a world in which 12 months from now we're saying, man, the AL has like 13 just absolute dogs, and then just 2 bad teams. It's going to be a lot of the same. So what makes it almost makes it more frustrating, but also makes it more hopeful, is that if you take care of business, you can be back to what you should be doing this year. But it's infuriating to watch them putz around this year.
Text line 913-586-7965. Rob, can you hit us with a little bit of breaking news? Now, you can hit the non-serious breaking news one. I don't need people to think that I'm making some this is not a CBS News level announcement, but I would
Carrington
like to
has determined this is breaking news. Is it?
Okay. We have 2 things to share with you. The first thing is Town Topic. They are going to change their hours. You remember this was a big story last week in the city. The owner of Town Topic said, hey, we can't keep doing this anymore. We're going to close things down. I believe it was 10 o'clock. They were going to close things down. Well, Rob, they have announced a new policy today. So shout out to them. This is what they're going to do. They're going back to 24 hours, but their walk-up window is only going to be open until 10 o'clock. So I'm sure you've seen it by now. You can go you can go to Town Topic, you can eat inside of Town Topic, and then after hours, they don't let anybody inside anymore. And if you want something to eat, you got to just order out there, and then you just hang around for a while, and then you can get your food.
In that terrible parking lot where all the problems happen.
Well, that's a major reason of why they wanted more help. They wanted more security. It was a big, long to-do about it. Well, they said that they're going to be open now until 10 o'clock. And if you still want Town Topic, you can DoorDash Town Topic from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. And they are still working out all their online ordering processes. So if you still want Town Topic late at night, you can still go get it. You just got to get it on DoorDash.
Is that a good compromise for patrons?
I don't ever use DoorDash, so I do have this question. Maybe the text line can answer this question for me.
You don't use DoorDash? I'm sorry for interrupting. You don't ever use DoorDash?
Very, very rarely. I would say less than 5 times a year I use DoorDash. I normally just go get it. This is why I don't use it.
Let's say downtown's different. You can walk basically everywhere.
And let's say you want to get Chipotle. By the time I start typing in all the DoorDash and then I see how much that burrito is, and then I got to run the risk of by the time you bring me the burrito, it's going to end up being wrong anyway. I'd just rather go get up and go get it. I very, very rarely use DoorDash. But this is my question. I don't know. Can you order the food on DoorDash and then just go pick it up inside the store? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, you can DoorDash for pickup, yes.
Yeah, because if their plan is they're now going to be delivering the hamburgers and the truck stops and the pancakes to you, I don't know if that's a really good plan. But if their plan is, hey, if you want your food, you need to order it on the app and then come here and then pick it up, I don't think that's that bad of a strategy. I mean, obviously, we all love Town Topic. It's one of the more iconic restaurants in the city, but I don't know if you can do that on DoorDash or not. Again, I just very, very rarely use the app.
I think conceptually this is I don't know if this is a bad compromise for Town Topic, but like the way DoorDash works, you have to pay a delivery driver and you have to pay a delivery fee. So you've taken Town Topic burgers, which are, I don't have their menu in front of me. Let's just say $4.99, $5.99, $6.99 for a cheeseburger. And now it's just jumped in price. Like, you're not really getting the same allure of you're leaving the bar and you're right there anymore. Like, that's kind of the whole allure of Town Topic. Now it's just the same as ordering a pizza.
Yeah, I agree. But I would say Kansas City is a place. Kansas City has a lot of things. Late night food options is not really something that Kansas City has in abundance. So this is keeping one of those late night open. And you see this in entertainment districts. You see this at bars. A lot of the problems usually stem from everybody in the parking lot hanging out, and then something ultimately happens. It's the same terrible concoction that you get in the club. You got testosterone, you got women, you got alcohol, you got aggressiveness, you got all of these things, and you're putting it into one cocktail. It normally ends up being a very, very dangerous mix. So I completely understand why Town Topic is trying to do more of, the more you just have kids hanging out in that parking lot right next to it, the more you are opening yourself up to problems like they just had a couple of weeks ago where there was a shooting.
I understand why Town Topic has made the changes they made. I'm not insulting the changes. I just, for a city that has no late night eats or very little, Town Topic was one of the things that was getting people who are out and about late at night through. And now that you've kind of added a convenience fee and a delivery tip, I don't know that it is the best system for the people, but I think they kind of got ruined by the shooting that happened last week.
Yeah, text line 913-586-7965. We'll see it out. Your boy Mayor Q is too focused on bar hours than keeping the city safe. Now Town Topic has to suffer. I read the story on this, and honestly, I don't know what the city is supposed to do for Town Topic. There is a parking lot right there next to it, but they do not own the parking lot, so they can't hire security to then police the parking lot that they don't own. I feel like that responsibility should be theirs if you want to stay open late night. Is the solution for Town Topic to have a police city car sit right out in front of it to make sure? Well, then if that's the case, then are we planning on doing that for every restaurant that stays open? I'm not here to make any excuses for the city or the mayor in this solution. I just don't know what the city is supposed to do to help Town Topic stay open if they don't own the parking lot right next to them. That would be the number one thing. If they own the parking lot right next to it, hire security, and you could alleviate some of these issues. That would be my question for all of it. Text line 913-586-7965. Let's get back to the Chiefs. We'll get to the Chiefs coming up at the top of the hour. This is my question. If you could press a button right now and turn one of these three rookies into a Pro Bowler next season, Mansour Delane, Peter Woods, or R. Mason Thomas, which one would you press the button for to have them turn into a Pro Bowler next season? We'll get into it next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
New crash and it's two cars. 70 eastbound just past Lee Summit. Right lane is blocked. The wreck in Odessa is cleared, so some of that backup will start to unwind. We've also got the two-car crash 435 westbound just past State Line Road. Right lane blocked. I'm Bow with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us.
I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on.
And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Mia from the Winnings Desk. Every Missouri lottery ticket helps support Missouri public education. Over $8 billion and counting. I was going to list every school, but yeah, there's over 2,400 of them. See the full list at molottery.com/education. Play it forward and play responsibly.
This summer, Casey's has 89-cent medium fountain and new Frostbite by Casey's drinks. But if you don't have 89 cents, you could check your center console, dig between your couch cushions, ask grandma for $1, or just use your credit card. 89-cent medium Frostbite by Casey's or fountain drinks at Casey's. All summer long. Restrictions may apply. See store for details.
Hey Kansas City, it's Jeff Briggs with Victory CDJ Art the Legends. Once again, we are taking the hassle out of car buying with the Victory Scavenger Hunt. Folks, as always, our hunts are different. We put the price right at your fingertips with our Let's Do Business guarantee. Like walking up to select Ram 1500s, subtracting $18,000 from the sticker, and let's do business. It's that simple. Just visit VictoryMotorsKC.com and click on the large scavenger hunt banners directly on our homepage. That's VictoryMotorsKC.com, where our first price is better than their last.
guys, it's Rob Brennan from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the upcoming World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And I'm Scott Parks from Dane and Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch, KC features the biggest names who helped make the World Cup in Kansas City possible. And there was a lot of work, plus the major storylines heading into this summer's tournament.
This is so much more. This isn't just a podcast about soccer.
No, you're right, Rob. It's a podcast about Kansas City, for Kansas City, telling the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes drop every Wednesday starting on March 4th, along with video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ social channels.
So make sure you subscribe. Download Beyond the Pitch KC with Rob Brennan and myself, Scott Parks, on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, folks. Bob from Blue Springs Ford. Hey, Blaine, my sister Kathy wants to buy a Bronco at an employee price.
What perfect timing, because right now Blue Springs Ford is giving employee pricing to everyone.
So what's the real difference in pricing?
2025 Bronco Sport starting at $29,000.
Wow, that's less than $30,000.
Up to $10,000 off MSRP on 2026 F-150s, and you get a lifetime powertrain warranty for free.
Folks, go to BlueSpringsFord.com right now, because this ends soon.
Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more. Visit our inventory at ShawneeMissionFord.com.
Hey, it's Cole, and I have exciting news. Ford has announced employee pricing for everyone. Over at Shawnee Mission Ford, you pay what they pay, and you still get the rebates and incentives offered by Ford, along with the top trade-in value from Shawnee Mission Ford, who's on a mission to do more in 26.
The Cody and Gold Garage Sale benefiting the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum is on Wednesday, June 10th on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
All right, welcome back into the show. Let me ask you guys this question. Earlier today, we had Peter Woods on the show. If you missed it, be sure to check out the podcast page. This is the question. I am going to put a button in front of you. This button can turn one of these Chiefs draft picks into a Pro Bowler for this upcoming season. Mansour Delane, Peter Woods, and R. Mason Thomas. Now, they are just a Pro Bowler. We're not talking about an all-pro. We're not talking about them being one of the truly elite guys, but we see guys make the Pro Bowl every single year. You can press the button, one of these rookies instantly turns into that. Rob, which one would you take? Would you take Mansour Delane? Would you take Peter Woods, budding friend of the show? Or would you take R. Mason Thomas? Which one are you pressing the button for?
It's a very good question. And I think my answer is going to be Mansour Delane. And here's why. A, remember yesterday on the show at 5 o'clock hour, we talked about the most important Chiefs. I had Mansour Delane at number 4. If you're telling me he is a Pro Bowl, no doubt, lockdown type of cornerback number 1, the Chiefs defense is very, very good. I think the second reason I would say that is because, and I know Chiefs fans are all excited about Delane. They're excited about Noel Williams. They're excited about this rebuilt cornerback room. They basically bring no one back outside Noel Williams from last year's cornerback room. There are a lot of question marks with that plan. I know Brett Veach has, turned water into wine, multiple times at that position, but maybe he missed. If you're telling me Mansour Delane is a Pro Bowler, then corner is good. And whatever happens underneath Mansour Delane at cornerback 2, 3, and 4, it's just kind of whatever to me. R. Mason Thomas would be my second pick if I had to rank them, but I think the Chiefs can generate pass rush even if he isn't at a Pro Bowl level because they do have Karlaftis, who there's a hope he can bounce back. They have Chris Jones, who's a hope he can bounce back. They do have Peter Woods and Omar Norman Lott coming back from injury. So there's a belief and there's enough bodies there where I think you can survive just by throwing numbers at it. So I think the answer is Mansour Delane because Mansour Delane is just okay. I think that cornerback room is potentially problematic for the Chiefs.
I'm going to say the answer is R. Mason Thomas for this reason. I think you can be looked at as an okay player at those other positions and still make the Pro Bowl. You're still a good player, don't get me wrong. But I don't think you can accidentally make it as a defensive end. There's just too many good ones in the National Football League. Like, Rob, these are all the defensive linemen, or DNs, all the DNs that made the Pro Bowl last year. Myles Garrett, Will Anderson, Micah Parsons, Aiden Hutchinson, Max Crosby, DeMarcus Lawrence. Think about that. Like, that is insane of the guy. Like, the level, the caliber of defensive end you got to be to crack that rotation is a much different bar. Chris Jones was a Pro Bowler last year, and all we heard were complaints about the way that Chris Jones played last year. So Peter Woods, if he turned into a Pro Bowler, obviously you'd be really, really excited about it, but you rather have any of those defensive players I just named over having Chris Jones or the impact that they had last season. So yeah, I think the best case scenario for them would be R. Mason Thomas turning into it. Now, that's not to factor in the draft pick compensation that you spent to go get Mansour Delane. He better make a couple of Pro Bowls in his rookie contract, or you did something terribly wrong. But for next season, if you were telling me you know what you have with Jones, even at his age, you know what you have with Jones, I would say at this point, you at least know what the floor is for George Karlaftis, and you're just hoping that the ceiling's a little bit higher, but you got a good idea of when the what the floor looks like. If you were telling me that one of their other defensive linemen, I don't really care who you think it could be. If you think it's R. Mason Thomas, if you think it's Tonga, if you think it's whomever you think it could be, if you're telling me that you think there is another Pro Bowl caliber player there, I think hoping that it's Ashton Gelati or hoping that it's R. Mason Thomas is in the best case scenario, because in order for you to be a Pro Bowler at the end, you need to have at least 8 sacks. You're not making the Pro Bowl if you got less than that.
That's fair. Your thought is more the scarcity of the position more so than the actual player itself. Because to be a Pro Bowler, and I know people are getting their jokes off around the Pro Bowl, and I get it. Shedeur Sanders was a Pro Bowler. It's kind of goofy at times.
Yeah, but to cut you off there.
But do you think the position's different?
Some of it is positional value. Yeah, like at quarterback, the barrier of entry is a little bit lower because of the injuries we saw last year. Like Patrick Mahomes didn't play in last year's Pro Bowl because he couldn't. So you're right. At quarterback last year, it was Matthew Stafford, Drake May, Joe Flacco, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Shedeur Sanders, Dak Prescott, Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts, and Justin Herbert. Those guys were all named Pro Bowlers last year. But I just gave you the list for defensive end. You tell me which one of these defensive ends you don't think are good.
Let me ask you this. Can I play that same game of corner? Because here are last year's cornerbacks that were Pro Bowlers. Quinyon Mitchell, Derek Stingley, Cooper DeJean, Patrick Surtain, Devin Witherspoon, J.C. Horn, Denzel Ward, Kasan Nixon, Kamari Lassiter, and Christian Gonzalez, and then also Nashawn Wright from the Bears. Outside of Nashawn Wright,
it's a strong list.
That's a really good group.
List. No, I can't lie. It's a strong list.
It's not like rum-dums and ring-dings get in at corner. So a lot of what you're saying at edge rusher also exists for Monson Delane at corner. Now, Nashawn Wright, I don't know the Bears corner off. He's not the same as Surtain or Christian Gonzalez, but
I mean, obviously, just based on their defense last year, they were balling for sure.
But like, if you're telling me Monson Delane's a Pro Bowler because he has a Denzel Ward or a J.C. Horn type of season, he's not getting in the Pro Bowl because no one's going. He's getting in the Pro Bowl because he had a great season. And I think a cornerback great season for this team is super important because I understand your point about pass rush, but the Chiefs lost an All-Pro corner. They need to find a replacement. If Delane is a Pro Bowler, then in year one, they have found that replacement, which just makes you feel more solid about the rest of the team.
Yeah, and in my opinion, and I know people have their feelings about the Pro Bowl, the Chiefs kind of have to start over with new Pro Bowlers. Now, again, I understand that Mahomes didn't make it last year because of the injury. He certainly would have made the Pro Bowl if he was healthy last year. But these were the guys that the Chiefs sent to the Pro Bowl. Travis Kelce, a player who is at the end of his career, Trey Smith, Creed Humphrey, and Chris Jones. There's a feeling that Chris Jones made it because of reputation. Your center, your right guard, and your 36-year-old tight end made it. It'd be really good if Kenneth Walker made the Pro Bowl this year. It'd be really good if Rashee Rice was in the conversation of Pro Bowl wide receivers. This is what it was last year. Puka Nacua, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Nico Collins, George Pickens, T. Higgins, CeeDee Lamb, Cortland Sutton, and Zay Flowers. For the most part, if you're going to be one of these receivers that make it, you need to have 1,000 yards and or double-digit touchdowns. That's another one of those positions, kind of like defensive end. You ain't a third wide receiver on a team and making the Pro Bowl just because that position is so incredibly deep. So even if you get in as an alternate and you're one of the 7th or 8th people that they ask, oh, yeah, that's T. Higgins, that's Nico Collins, that's one of those kind of guys. So if you could get one of your 25, 26 or under guys to crack this rotation and be one of those Pro Bowl kind of players, that'll be a massive improvement over what we saw last year.
To connect this segment we did earlier in the show to now, I think one of the reasons fans feel so excited and love Creed Humphrey the way they do is because he started breaking into that group, albeit at center, so it's not the same. It's not a one-for-one, as a young player. He was doing it at 24, 25, 26. Outside that, the Chiefs don't really have a lot of 24, 25, 26-year-olds that make the Pro Bowl. If Delane, Thomas, or Woods breaks in, that would be a huge win for the Chiefs at 3 positions of importance.
Text line 913-586-7965. We asked the question, if you missed it, if you could press a button and you could turn either Mansour Delane, Peter Woods, or R. Mason Thomas into a Pro Bowler for this season, which one of those players would you press the button on? We're reading your text here, getting your thoughts about that. Let's continue to talk Chiefs coming up on the other side. Rob, I also have some news. We have a release date for Grand Theft Auto 6. I am excited. I'll tell you what it is next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
On your home for Chiefs football, 96.5, The Fan.
So we got Memorial Day coming up on Monday. So that means grilling season. That means barbecue season, cookout season. And you know what? That means you need to go hit up our friends over at Gates Barbecue to get you right for the weekend. The next time you're at the grocery store, go stop in and get one of those classic Gates sauce. Next time you're at the grocery store, go get one of those classic Gates seasoning. What I really love about the seasoning is it's multi-purpose. I used a little bit of it earlier today when I was making my breakfast, had a little bit of eggs, had a little bit of chicken. I seasoned it with that Gates seasoning. Oh, it was fantastic. Maybe you want to use it on chicken. Maybe you want to use it on steak. Maybe you want to use it on fish. Go grab some of that Gates seasoning. I don't got to tell you much more about the Gates barbecue sauce. It's some of the best barbecue sauce in the world. Maybe you don't know how to grill. Just stop by, go in there, pick yourself up a party tray, bring it to the function. It'll be a win. You can pick up a small party tray. You can pick up a large party tray. Maybe you want to go get a presidential platter. Maybe you want to go grab some of those fries. They got the burnt E-Mac that I'm telling you is absolutely delicious. And with 5 area locations and 5 locations spread out around the city. So it doesn't matter if you're on the Kansas side. It doesn't matter if you're heading out to the baseball game later today. You are never too far away from our friends over at Gates Barbecue.
Okay, class, let's begin.
Psst, love your boots. I just sold a pair like that on eBay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it took like 2 seconds to list, and they sold almost immediately. I've been selling everything lately. Some chunky boots, a faux fur coat I never wore, and a vintage chair that was more of an expensive clothing rack.
You know, I actually bought these on eBay. Wait, are you Kitty Sell Stuff from Brooklyn?
Okay, quiet, please.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be 1,000,000 miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being 1,000,000 miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
This deer season, John Deere wants to give you the home field advantage. We're bringing you the best offers of the season, whether that's cash off on select new machines or a shot at the ultimate Major League Baseball prize package. Because right now, you can enter for a chance to win an MLB All-Star experience for you and 3 friends, complete with travel and lodging for All-Star Week this July. Deer season is going on now through June 3rd. Visit johndeere.com/deerseason to enter and view the offers and complete contest rules. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
Brought to you by the Kansas City Wynn Nelson Trade Show this Friday, May 22nd from 10 till 2 at the Boulevard Drive-In. Contractors ready to simplify installs and take on bigger jobs? See Champion HVAC at the Wynn Nelson Trade Show this Friday from 10 till 2 at the Boulevard Drive-In. Meet the team, see the equipment up close, and find solutions that actually work in the field. Food, giveaways, and 30-plus vendors. Don't miss it.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. The countdown to the World Soccer Championship is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Visit bluekc.com/benefit of blue for more information. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Crash down near Grandview, 49 southbound at Blue Ridge Boulevard. Right lane is blocked, and then just past that, you've got 49 southbound at Main. That's a stall with the left lane blocked there. We've got a crash that is causing big backups, and that's the 70 eastbound past Lee Summit. Right lane blocked. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Chris Jones from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
We'll get back to sports here coming up in a bit, but this is very important. I would say, I don't know, maybe once every 2, once every 3 years, there's a significant you remember where you were pop culture moment that is about to happen. I'm not really a big Marvel person. It's too many movies to follow. I feel like the story arc's the same. Like Spider-Man meets the girl. He goes through some adversity in the middle of the movie, and then he solved it so they can make another one. I can't keep watching those movies. If you're watching them, great. I'm out. But, Rob, I remember whenever Avengers Endgame was coming out, and that was a significant deal, a big deal. I would say it's the biggest movie release of my lifetime. I'm not a Taylor Swift fan. I'm not a Swiftie, but the Eras Tour, that's the biggest concert tour that happened probably since Michael Jackson. I mean, certainly in the last 30 years or so. I mean, she was going from pillar to post selling that thing out, selling out football stadiums. She was doing 2-3 nights selling out football stadiums in some place. It was a really big deal, even if you weren't a Swiftie. Grand Theft Auto. We've been waiting on this, Rob, for a long time. We now have the official date. November 19th is the release of Grand Theft Auto. Let me go and check the Chiefs' schedule, what the Chiefs got going on around that time. I can already feel it coming. We've been waiting on this for a very, very long time. Oh, the Chiefs got the Cardinals that week. Oh, I might have Friday. I might not be here. that week, I might not be here. They got the Falcons before, and they got the Cardinals on the back half of that one. Oh, goodness. The Royals got a day game during that time? They got a day game?
In November?
Yeah, they might. Who knows? They might make the World Series. Who knows what happens?
Yeah. Well, I think I know. I think the Royals aren't making the World Series.
You know what I need? I need a good K-State basketball game at 3 o'clock.
Ooh, actually, you know what?
That's what I'm saying. A little K-State basketball. They're in some tournament. We don't even know what the tournament could be.
They're in the Players era this year.
Yeah. K-State might win the national championship.
That's not happening, but they are in the Players era, which does take place on like the 19th through 23rd.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
They probably have a barn burner with Auburn. We got to be off the air.
What's been that pop culture moment for you? I would say that I've had like 2 in my life that I'm like, I remember I was a Halo kid. I love that game. And Halo 3 came out when I was in college, and I went crazy. I was in the Joplin Walmart waiting in the line. I still got the pictures from the midnight release. I was very much into it. And I used to love the X-Men television show when I was a kid. So when they released X-Men in the theater, oh my goodness, I've never been more excited for a movie release. They were going to turn my favorite cartoon into an actual movie, and Halle Berry was going to be in it. Oh, I was thrilled. I saw the midnight release out at the Independence AMC theater. That's how fired up I was for that.
Let me ask you a question. Does 2 years ago, when the college football game came back, count as a pop culture moment? I know we were adults, so it's different. You could download it.
I wasn't as excited about it as I am for the release of Grand Theft Auto 6.
Really?
I was really excited for the college football game. Don't get me wrong.
You must be super excited about Grand Theft Auto then.
Yeah, this is probably the most excited I've ever been for a video game.
Ever? Even like since like the Halo days, or just ever full stop?
But how long it's taken for us to even get to this point? I mean, Rob, it's been a long time. It's been a long time since we've had this game. Do you know when the first one came out, or the last one, 5? Just take a guess. When did 5 come out?
I'm going to say 2010. Just throw a dart.
2013. It was September 17th of 2013. It's been 13 years since it. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited about this one. That's what I'm saying. They got the Cardinals that week. I can't wait to have a sinus infection. I can't wait.
You don't want to be here with me talking about Carson Beck against Patrick Mahomes?
No, you got it. You got it. That's going to be a good matchup. Little Mahomes, little Carson Beck. Chiefs are 8-4 at that stretch. The Cardinals are winless and looking to get their first win.
We'll have all sorts of hypotheticals like, will Carson Beck...
You think we're going to talk about the game that week? No, I'm just telling you, we probably will not be. Sometimes I can tell you what we're going to be talking about. That feels like a general NFL week and college football week to me, or Chiefs big picture is what it sounds like.
Tyron Stokes will be in the Players era. That's what we'll lead with. That's the show that week.
Are you sure?
Tyron Stokes playing in the Players era. Got it.
Are you sure?
Done. We're locked in.
You still haven't answered my question. Are you sure?
Appointment radio. The new Shaq and Kobe. McKinney and Stokes.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck
to
them.
That's not fair. They're both guards. LeBron and Dwayne Wade reincarnate.
I just now thought of this topic because we were talking about Arizona, and it got me thinking. And then I have another Chiefs topic to think about. All I've been doing is thinking of Chiefs hypotheticals because there's nothing else to think about if you do this job because the Royals haven't given you anything else to think about. What's the Chiefs trap game that the fans are going to be worried about? Like, what's the game right now that you and I both know you and I are going to be confident that they're going to win? And the sentiment from the text line is going to be, you guys are way too confident about this one. I'm worried about that one. We get that once or twice a season. What do you think that game is on the Chiefs schedule? What's their I'm worried about trap game? The Chiefs could lose this one.
They don't really have one that jumps out.
I think it might be Indianapolis.
It's either Indianapolis or Atlanta. Those are the only two options. Because with Atlanta,
good one.
It's like
on the road, sandwiched in between 2 home games.
And the
That's a good one.
The 2 home games are gimmies. It's the Jets and the Cardinals. So it's a little bit of letdown factor.
I'm going to tell you, if the Chiefs lose either one of those games and Mahomes is playing, something's wrong. Because Arizona's having a top 5 pick, and so are the Jets. Those are 2 teams that are guaranteed having a top 5 pick in the NFL draft.
By the way, I'm on ESPN right now. They just show the ESPN bet spreads. 9.5 for the Jets game right now, 11.5 for the Cardinals game. So, yeah, that would be bad. Those would be catastrophe losses.
Yeah, I think it's the Colts. If you're asking me right now, trap game, I think you can already just kind of see it. The Colts aren't good, but they're not bad. They're good enough at quarterback. They got Jonathan Taylor. You know the history between the Chiefs and the Colts. They just always seem to play weird, closely contested games. It's a short week. It's going to be all of those things. I actually think the Chiefs are going to have their trap game kind of early on in the season. I think it's that, and I also can see fans being weirdly worried about the Arizona game.
Because of what's on the back end?
Weirdly worried about Arizona. It's right before the Buffalo game.
Mm-hmm.
It's right before that long stretch. They got 3 straight. I mean, on paper, that's a difficult stretch for Kansas City. On the road against Buffalo, on the road against the Rams, on the road against the Bengals, home against the Patriots, home against San Francisco, on the road against the Chargers. Right now, that's a difficult 6-game stretch. Right before that gets going, that's a team in Arizona that I don't think is going to be good. You don't think is going to be good. No NFL fan thinks they're going to be good. Now, I'm not saying the Chiefs are going to lose that game, but we've seen a whole lot of Chiefs games where you and I both know they will have 1 or 2 games that they'll just completely go through the motions. This game will be weirdly tied at halftime. The Chiefs will just come out and look super lethargic, like they don't want to be there, and they got much, much bigger fish to fry. And then the Chiefs in the fourth quarter will make 1 or 2 plays more than Arizona, and they'll end up winning the game like 27-24. And then you and I come on here and talk about what went wrong, and then the text line doesn't want to hear it because they won. That's the Arizona game. You can see that a mile away.
That was like what last year's Commanders game was. Remember, the Chiefs got hot. They beat the Lions, they beat the Raiders, and they beat the Commanders. And we were like, there were some issues. And people were like, shut up, they're back, baby. And the season fell apart. I think Colts is a better pick. Because let's say the Chiefs start 1-0. People are going to be flying high. But then it's a short week. Mahomes is still not at 100%, presumably. You know, there's a letdown factor from the fans because who cares about the Colts? You know, everyone looks past the Colts, this, that, and the other. I think your Colts pick is 1,000% correct.
You know what? At Miami could be a weird one. It could just be a weird one. On the road, you had 2 straight home games on national TV. You go on the road for a noon game in Miami. It's hot. It's sticky. I could just see the Chiefs in that game just not coming out with a whole lot of energy. You know how NFL teams do sometimes, and it just takes them a little bit to get going. I'm not super high on Miami either. I don't really know how you can be high on Miami going into the season. They don't have their quarterback from last year. They don't have their top 2 pass catching options. They basically have Devon A-Chain and guys is what they have. But you just know, remember the Patriots? I know it was different because they were in the division. For whatever reason, Tom Brady, they just always struggled on the road in Miami. That was like the one place that just gave Brady and the Patriots just nothing but fits. On the road against Miami also has trap game vibes.
No, the on the road for Miami is that game that it's close. That's the close in the fourth quarter, and the Chiefs look lethargic and win 26-17 on a late field goal that pushes the game over the edge to make it 9 points with like 90 seconds to go. And fans are like, woof, that was a close one. I can't believe they didn't play well. And, you know, but at least we're 3-0. That's the game, the lethargic game you're talking about, where people just overlook the Dolphins, and then for all the weirdness, the Dolphins put up a little bit of a fight. Plus, Malik Willis can run around, so you got to account for him as a runner and a passer and blah, blah, blah. We can see that coming.
I want to read to you this story really quickly because it just continues the World Cup is a scam take. So today there was a story that came across my timeline, and the story read, Kansas City's Airbnb hosts are still waiting for their World Cup windfall. Now, I know I'm not the only person that was having this conversation, but there was a time where I would say one of the top stories in Kansas City was, are you going to Airbnb your house? And some of the amount of money that people were expecting to be able to get from these Airbnbs, they were expecting to get a tremendous windfall. And it was a big deal about who could Airbnb their house, and do you want to move out of your house, and how much people are paying. It was a really, really big deal. Well, I think we're starting to see, that market never really came together. Now, that's not to say you can't make some money on Airbnb. Sure, there's going to be tourists. If you make it affordable, it's close to the stadium. If you're prepared for it, there are going to be some people who make some decent money on Airbnbs. But you and I both know Just like you see some of these corporations started to get greedy and wanted to make money hand over fist. A lot of people who had Airbnbs also were getting greedy, saw dollar signs, and thought that this was their pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Well, now you are seeing that the hotel bubble, it has crashed in Kansas City in relation to this event. Some of you that maybe wanted to get married this summer, you were told explicitly by hotels, no, we cannot accept you. We are not taking people because we're booked up for the World Cup. Well, FIFA has now canceled a lot of those blockings, and a lot of those hotels that would have sold those rooms likely already have now decided it. You also have people in your life, maybe they don't live here, but they, come in for the summer. Maybe you got, grandmother, whoever it is. They now, hey, we're avoiding Kansas City because of how crazy we think the World Cup is going to be. So you're just getting less tourism, I would say, in some areas because people thought it was going to be a madhouse in Kansas City. Why would I want to go sign up for it? And we're also not getting the volume of people that they expected us to get. So the hotel numbers are not where they thought it was going to be. That's not even an opinion at this point. It's backed by factual data. The American Hotel Association is telling you that hotels are still plenty available. If you look at the Airbnb market, it's fallen through, and people thought they were going to get $1,000, $2,000 a night for their. No, nobody is paying that when it comes to it. I think to me, this Airbnb and this World Cup situation has kind of shown me two things. America doesn't like soccer nearly as much as they think we like soccer. I think there's a lot of people that are like me when it comes to soccer. I've watched it, I don't like it, and I'm cool with that. Now, I'll go to a game, sure, and I'm excited for the World Cup. I'll watch it on television, but you were never going to get the person like me to pay your exorbitant prices when it came to the World Cup. Maybe you'll get a Rob, because Rob loves soccer, sees this as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If Team USA was even closer, Rob would go and travel and do all those things. There's a lot of you that are like me. I don't care that much about it. Sure, I'll watch it on TV, and the television ratings will reflect that. But I was not moving heaven and earth to watch the World Cup. Not at all. I was not doing that. I also think, honestly, I think this World Cup has shown me what the rest of the world thinks about us when it comes to our love of sports. Just hearing what the FIFA president had to say and how we're used to paying all of this for sporting events, we've shown them that we'll pay whatever to go to football games. We'll pay whatever for big-time basketball games, big-time this event and that event. That I believe FIFA came in here thinking it's the World Cup, it's a major sporting event, they're used to paying it, so of course. They're used to paying this for parking, we'll raise it a little bit because our product is a premium product, and people will pay it to say that they went to the World Cup. And I think a lot of Americans looked at the prices, considered their own love for soccer, and just said, nah, I'm okay, I'm good. I'm not paying $200 to park at Arrowhead. For what? To watch who? I'm not paying that to stay in a hotel in this place. I'll just stay home and watch it. And when you're gouging people at almost every other turn in our lives, it's at restaurants, at the grocery store, at the gas pump, in so many different areas of your life, the way that they plan this thing, and you're just starting to see the deck of cards is falling right before our very eyes. The hotel market has crashed. The airlines are not booked the way they thought they were going to book. Airbnbs are not booked the way they thought it was. The ticket prices are dropping right before your very eyes. I've said this entire time. The World Cup will be fun. It will be good. It will be cool. It will be different. It will be unique. And 10 years from now, we'll look back and we'll tell stories about a game you went to or a watch party you went to, and we will look back on it with very fond memories. But the dream that they sold us when they pitched us the World Cup and they were all excited about us getting the World Cup, that dream is not happening. At least that's not how it appears to me.
I think this is the perfect confluence of things going wrong and FIFA screwing everyone. I could literally do 4 hours on how much I hate FIFA. They are as corrupt goes. I think their vice president just got in trouble for bribery, which, of course, it's FIFA. But what FIFA did is they put a hold. They, as an organization, put a hold on those hotels, which created an artificial bubble in town that people are willing to pay exorbitant prices to stay in town. So if you were a person who was looking to Airbnb your house and you found out that Hotel X was charging $555 a night, you're trying to then be like, oh, I'll charge $400 a night at my house and I'm going to get rich. Well, you know what happened in reality? FIFA artificially created this bubble by holding the hotel room, which spiked prices. They then dumped out of the hotel rooms because they don't need them for whatever reason. And now regular fans are looking at your house and saying, I'm not staying on Johnson Drive for $400 a night. FIFA's hold on the hotels, hold on the conference rooms, ran numbers up like you wouldn't believe, and then screwed everyone out on the back end of making money. You're right. There was an idea that it was going to be, there's this pot of gold at the end of the rainbow for everyone. You can Airbnb your house for $900, whatever people were saying. I think if FIFA hadn't put a hold on those hotels and people had then booked them at regular prices and you've been booking your house at an Airbnb regular price, you would feel a little bit of a win. Would it have been a major win? No, but you would have felt a win. But now FIFA they screwed everyone. And we haven't even gotten to ticket prices yet, which is Infantino, the president of FIFA, telling people, hey, you guys pay this all the time, so just get used to it. No. Price it the same way you price it in other countries and people will show up in droves. Don't price it like it's the national title game.
Yeah, but this is where I think they were misguided. Maybe you agree with this, maybe you don't disagree with it. So someone just sent this into the text line. CDOT, will this price bubble pop you're discussing with the World Cup, will this happen when the new Chiefs Stadium opened and they originally priced the tickets? I think it is pretty safe to say that we get gouged, I would say, pretty regularly when it comes to tickets. Whether it's sporting event tickets, whether it is concert tickets, we get gouged pretty frequently. How much you spent for your wife to go see Taylor Swift, how much you maybe spent for your wife to go see Beyonce, how much you spend for tickets to go to a regular football game or a basketball game or on whatever it is. I think it's fair to say that we get overcharged all the time. We as Americans have decided what events we're happy being charged for and paying a premium for and what we are not. And you know, one of the things that we have decided as a sports society, we are not letting you gouge us on, it's soccer tickets. It's soccer. America does not like soccer the way they want us to like soccer. We just don't. We don't like it that way. Not here. We just don't like it. It's cool. It's fine. It's a nice little hobby. It is a niche sport. It is below the MLS or before the NHL in this country. And I think in two ways they overplayed their hand. They overpaid what they thought the average American will pay to go to this marquee event because that person is willing to spend big time money for Monday Night Football and Sunday Night Football, but not their version of football. And I think they overestimated how much America is really into soccer in that way. And America is not into soccer in the way they think we are into it.
I also think, and I don't know if it's chicken or egg, but if they had priced it like they've priced other World Cups, I think America would be interested. But I understand your point. They're like, hey, if people are willing to pick a big college football game. I want to pick a bowl game. You know, Bama, people are willing to pay to go see Bama and Georgia at exorbitant prices. They'll definitely be willing to pay to see Algeria against Lionel Messi. I got the logic. But we are one World Cup removed from Qatar where you could spend $90 to $100 and be in the final and see France and Argentina. The World Cup before that in Russia, similar pricing. I don't know if it was literally for the final, but you could spend normal sports pricing to see a semifinal match. Before then, 2014, Brazil. I have friends who went to the World Cup. They were not spending thousands of dollars to see the U.S. play games in Brazil in the World Cup. It was regular big-time sporting event pricing. The same thing you would pay for a Chiefs Monday night game. So maybe you're not going to every single game, but for this World Cup, they just said, screw that. We're going to jack up prices to $500 and $1,000, where if the numbers were just normal, I think you would see fans show up because fans will understand the enormity of the event, even if they don't like soccer. Hey, you get a chance to go watch Kylian Mbappe play? I don't care what sport he plays. He's the best in the world. Sign me up to go see that guy. You're just not signing up to see that guy at $850 a pop. You might at $125 a pop, but they priced this like America's the most expensive country in the world as opposed to how they're pricing it everywhere else.
I just don't know if soccer can ever be a part of our culture in the same way that they maybe want us to with soccer. Like this top text. I think America respects soccer. We just aren't paying for it. I do not consider myself to be anti-soccer guy. I don't have any issues with soccer. I've been to plenty of sporting games, been to a couple of KC Current games. I plan on going to a World Cup game. Soccer's fine. But when you just think about it, these other sports are embedded in the DNA of our society and in our culture. Everybody's school has a basketball gym. You grow up playing basketball. It's a part of you. Football. We come together as a society every week to watch football. It is a part of us in that way. Baseball is considered America's pastime, where you've been to a baseball game. You love the activity of going out there. We don't feel a closeness to soccer as a society in that way. So if there isn't that connection, especially not when it comes to international soccer, they've never been good in our lives. They've never been good. So I think there is a disconnect, I think, from a societal, cultural standpoint. And then when you have this event that comes to our country, comes to our city, and it is such a cultural event, but it's just not our culture. So, and you then add the prices they are having. Rob, I would have loved to go to that Argentina game that's coming. I'd have loved to see Lionel Messi play. I then saw the prices for it, and I determined at that point, no, I'll watch it on television. And I'm more than fine with watching the game on television. If that's how much they're telling me that it would have been more expensive to do that than go to the Kentucky Derby. No, thank you. I'm cool. Y'all can have it. It's more expensive to go to WrestleMania. No, I'm fine. I don't want to go. I do not want to watch one soccer game nearly that bad. All right, coming up at the top of the hour, we'll get back to the Kansas City Royals. The Royals are, well, they're the Royals. I was on ESPN earlier today, and they offered up the best move that every team made in the NFL and the worst move that every team made in the NFL. I'll tell you what it was for the Chiefs. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on Kansas City's only FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
This Memorial Day, make your home the one neighbors notice. At Lowe's, when you have a budget, we have extra big deals. For a very limited time, get 50% off all Holland pavers to reinvent your outdoor space. Plus, keep it fresh around the house with your choice of a select Ego 56-volt trimmer or blower kit for just $169. This Memorial Day, our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/25. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. The wild weather this spring has brought hail to New Century Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Paola. What that means is they've got plenty of new and used cars and trucks with light cosmetic hail damage. New Century is having a hail of a sale to clear them all out. You can save as much as $15,000 and still receive all the factory incentives. The hail of a sale will not last long at New Century Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Remember, you always pay less in Paola. See dealer for details.
Hey, it's Dusty Likens, and you know baseball's back. BetMGM, the official partner of Major League Baseball, is bringing the high heat all season long. All season long, you can log into the BetMGM app and receive top-tier promos that put you in the batter's box and up the excitement for America's pastime. Step up to the plate all season with Swing for the Fences, the free-to-play game where every swing could score you rewards. We're talking parlay boost tokens, odds boost tokens, same-game parlay boosts, and even bonus spins all season long. And the action doesn't stop there. Get more out of every at-bat and every inning with MLB same-game parlay boost. Stack your picks and boost your potential payout. Plus, lock in bigger value with MLB odds boost tokens and MLB parlay boost tokens all season long. More boosts, more swings, more chances to win. Download the BetMGM app and step up to the plate today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. Existing customer offers subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Yo, it's Jay Uso from WWE, and I'm Jimmy Uso. Chumba Casino and WWE are hyped for the biggest event of the summer, SummerSlam. I know, I can't wait. There's nothing better to do while we're waiting than playing Chumba Casino. Sign up today, and you could win a VIP experience with Chumba Casino and WWE for SummerSlam. So what are you waiting for? Play Chumba Casino and enter for your chance to win. Let's Chumba. Yeah.
Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Emergency vehicles will slow you down. 49 southbound down at Blue Ridge Boulevard. Right lane is blocked. We've also got downtown 35 northbound past West Penway or near there. Right lane blocked there. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
All right, I want to read something to you guys very quickly. So there was a story on ESPN from Bill Barnwell, and I really like Bill Barnwell. He's actually one of my favorite NFL writers. But in this story, it was NFL offseason, every team's best and worst decisions. I was like, all right, well, let me click on this. Let me scroll down to Kansas City. Now, Rob, he has their best decision with signing Kadar Kohu to a one-year deal for around the league minimum. So Bill Barnwell, very happy about Kadar's ability. And from everybody that we talked to about him, sounds like he could be a really good player. Chiefs are rolling the dice that they can keep him healthy. But when he's been healthy and been on the field, he's been a pretty productive player. Now, I don't think the Chiefs are reliant on him being good for them. You spent the 6th overall pick. You got Noel Williams. You got Christian Fulton. You certainly got some names, but if he ends up being a positive player for you, it can't hurt. For worst decision, you can probably guess what it was. It's not addressing wide receiver. And I was thinking of this analogy, and tell me if you think it's off when it comes to the Chiefs. Because I think this happened last year with running back. Have you ever been talking to somebody and their gas tank was real low? And you were thinking, hey, you might want to get some gas. And everybody thinks they know their car, right? So when just because it says low fuel doesn't mean you got to go get gas immediately. No, you still got enough to get home. You still got enough to get to where you need to go. You still got enough to get there and back before you really, really got to deal with it. Even though it says low fuel, it's not pressing that you do it immediately. But we also know somebody that had that low fuel light was on. They overestimated how much gas they have, and now their car is stuck on the side of the road. I think that happened to the Chiefs last year at running back. Do you think that can happen to them at wide receiver this year? Do you think there's a chance that they possibly misplayed this thing at wide receiver? Because of all the position groups on the team, they did the least to add some support to their wide receiver room. Now, that's also life. It's in the National Football League. You can't address every problem all at one time, but For example, they went and got Peter Woods and doubled up after they got Kyrus Tonga. You could have went Omar Cooper Jr., the very talented wide receiver out of Indiana. You spent the first-round pick on a wide receiver. You throw him into the mix. We're having a completely different conversation. None of us here are like, man, I wish they had invested more defensive tackle. That really wouldn't have been the conversation that we had. Bill Barnwell has their worst decision in them not addressing wide receiver. Because basically, other than bringing back Tyquan Thornton, and I don't say this to be a disrespect towards Cyrus Allen, but I've also seen enough Chiefs football to know that 5th-round pick is not helping them next season. Sure, he'll make a play or two, but he'll have, 200, maybe 300 yards this season. He is not going to be a key member of whatever they got going on. Do you agree that this was their worst decision?
Yes. Now, I would say, I like Bill Barnwell a lot. He's a very good writer. I enjoy most of his work. I think a move they didn't make is a little bit of cheating on what their worst move is. Like, hey, they didn't do that, and that's the worst. Well, that seems a little bit like cheating. But I think, to your point, the way we talked about running back last year, which not just the yards per carry and all those things, and we said they just ran it back. They didn't really address anything. They felt like they were good. They have their guys. They have Kareem Hunt. They have Pacheco. They're good. They added a late-round pick. They think they're set. I think the way we talked about running back last year, there's a chance to talk about the wide receiver that way this year. They trust Rashee Rice. They trust Xavier Worthy. They trust Tyquan Thornton. His name got me tongue-tied like crazy. And I think there's a chance we look back and say they made a mistake. And what frustrates me is, as a person who is, I'll admit it, hand-raised running back hater, I think they overdid the running back correction and didn't do anything at wide receiver, and that's frustrating to watch. Kenneth Walker, fine. We can disagree about the price, the whole thing. I get why they did that. They then went out and signed another running back. Now, was it a $500 million deal? No. But okay, you're good now. They then used a draft pick at a position where they could have added a wide receiver on running back. What's more important, Carrington, in positional value game? Running back 3 or wide receiver 3? I would say most people say wide receiver 3. I'm not saying they had some no doubt Randy Moss was on the board, but I think we're going to look back and say potentially Brett Veach overcorrected at D-line and overcorrected at running back and left wide receiver high and dry because one 5th-round pick from Cincinnati who has the same height and weight profile as everyone already in the room is not fixing an existing problem.
Yeah, this is maybe where you and I disagree a little bit, and that's perfectly fine. I think you can only kind of be critical of them at wide receiver at a couple of spots. I mean, in free agency, they didn't like a single wide receiver in free agency that wasn't on their team last year. That's hard to do. Think about that.
Did they like any receiver in free agency?
Tyquan Thornton, that's what I'm saying.
It wasn't like we heard a bunch of stories like, oh, they were connected to so-and-so.
Linked to somebody. Yeah. No, they were not really linked to anybody.
They had one name.
I'm just saying, think about that. Think about the entire National Football League, and we could go through all of the free agent wide receivers. They didn't like any wide receiver enough to add them that was not on their team last year. They added one wide receiver who was on their team, knows their system, and that's perfectly fine. Fast forward now to the NFL draft. At 29, they had a real decision. There was a wide receiver who went 30. There was a wide receiver who went 33rd overall. There was a wide receiver who went 39 overall. Now, you could argue overdrafted, but if the Chiefs had taken Denzel Boston with the 29th overall pick, the sentiment would not be, oh, they reached on him. He's in that range, and that's a reasonable range to get him if you're worried about him not potentially being there. Then you look at the Chiefs at the 40th overall pick. They could have got Bernard, the wide receiver that was from Alabama. He also got drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. If there's a place as a wide receiver traditionally you want to be drafted to, it's been the Steelers. They've done a really, really good job at it. You also had a couple of chances to maybe go tight end if you wanted to and already kind of think ahead with Travis Kelce, and you made the decision to go defensive line. I'm not mad at the decision to go defensive line, but I guess back to what you were saying, I'm not going to be mad at the Chiefs because they got Emmett Johnson when they could have got a wide receiver there. Because I would say at where you selected them, Emmett Johnson is much more likely to help them in 2026 than a wide receiver would have helped them at their spot. They just don't have a good track record of a 5th-round pick exceeding expectations and helping them in his rookie season since Tyreek Hill, which I think we now know. Tyreek Hill was a 1st-round pick but had enough off-the-field concerns that he fell in the NFL draft. They just don't have a track record of doing that. Now, if you told me that Emmett Johnson has 500 yards this season and outperforms expectations, I don't know if you could be that surprised at that.
I guess I want to phrase this correctly. I don't actually have a problem with Emmett Johnson, the player. It's the plan, not the execution. They thought to themselves, we're the only room on the offense that we're going to put new names into is running back. They didn't do it anywhere else. Isn't this, we opened the show about this with the Royals. They made a tinker in the outfield and they kept everything else the same. Isn't that what the Chiefs are doing this year on offense? They tinkered with running back by changing it. But it's the same tight end, the same tight end 2, the same tight end 3, the same offensive line, same wide receiver 1, same wide receiver 2, same wide receiver 3. Like it's the same grouping. So my frustration is not Emmett Johnson. And I'm not even mad about Emmett Johnson. It's just that, do you need to then quadruple and triple down at running back when you have other things that need addressed? And you're right, their track record is not good, those other positions. But you're telling me you can't find a Noah Gray type in the 4th round over running back 3? You can't find, you can't find. There are receivers every year in the NFL draft that are 4th, 5th round picks that become good players or viable players or productive players. You can't find a Tyquan Thornton at any point in the draft. You just have to keep loading up at running back and D-line. I think my problem is Brett Veach does this overcorrecting, and I think he then forgets there's other positions on the field.
Where would you have drafted a wide receiver at?
I mean, 29's the answer. No offense to Peter Woods. He was great on the show today. Catch the podcast. I really enjoyed that conversation. 29. That's the spot to get him.
You would have got Cooper then.
I would have gotten Cooper.
You'd have got Cooper.
I would have gotten Cooper. Or wasn't Denzel Boston still there? I believe Denzel Boston.
Yeah, Boston went 39th overall.
I mean, maybe it's a little early for Boston, but yeah, I would have gone Boston.
Boston went one spot before R. Mason Thomas, who went 40.
Okay, so yeah, I would have gotten one of those two. That's the name.
Yeah, I mean, we'll certainly see. Obviously, we're playing this thing out. None of these guys have played yet, so we'll have to see. I don't mind you going defensive tackle. I just think the value of getting it right there. But as I'm reading this story and it says that the Chiefs' biggest mistake this season was not addressing wide receiver, I do have some worry of we're going to be sitting here in October and we're going to be looking at these wide receivers and thinking to yourself, man, why didn't they address this? Now, I will say the Chiefs have shown if wide receiver is not working, they will make a trade during the season to go get you a wide receiver. And if there is a position where you could make a trade at in October and add that guy to your mix, you are much more likely to do that at wide receiver than you are at pass rush or defensive tackle. So maybe that's their plan. Maybe their plan is let's give it a go for the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season. We can look up the trade deadline is right around the corner, and we don't mind trading a 4th round pick to go add a wide receiver into the mix and throw some new blood in there. We got to let the season play itself out. But Bill Barnwell said that the Chiefs not addressing wide receiver was the biggest mistake that they made this offseason. Coming up at the top of the hour, we are going to reset things. We are 50 games into the season with the Royals, and Buzz Wolf. We'll get to it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Tune in to hear the Hall of Fame voice of the Royals, Denny Matthews.
There's a high fly ball, deep left center. Back goes Ward to the wall. Gone. Bobby Witt Jr.
Every Monday at 3, right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Emergency vehicles will slow you down. 49 southbound down at Blue Ridge Boulevard. Right lane is blocked. We've also got downtown 35 northbound past West Penway or near there. Right lane blocked there. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Royals coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door. Forward and back, RENNER.
Almost Andy Reid here. It's Mental Health Awareness Month, and Renner Garage Door is giving back. 5% of sales go to Authentic Life Foundation, and you get 5% off your project. Visit rennerdoor.com.
RENNER, RENNER.
Hey, Kansas City, it's Jeff Briggs with Victory CDJ Art the Legends. Once again, we are taking the hassle out of car buying with the Victory Scavenger Hunt. Folks, as always, our hunts are different. We put the price right at your fingertips with our Let's Do Business guarantee. Like walking up to select Ram 1500s, subtracting $18,000 from the sticker, and let's do business. It's that simple. Just visit VictoryMotorsKC.com and click on the large scavenger hunt banners directly on our homepage. That's VictoryMotorsKC.com, where our first price is better than their last.
next. Hi, folks. Bob, Blue Springs Ford. Hey, Blaine, I know we've got employee pricing going on right now for everyone, but what's the difference in pricing?
Great question. 2026 Escape starting at $26,000.
That's thousands of dollars off.
2026 Expeditions?
Oh, I know this is going to be good.
How about up to $10,000 off MSRP? And Lightning up to $18,000 off. Plus, you get a lifetime powertrain warranty for free.
Folks, go to BlueSpringsFord.com right now, because this ends soon.
Hi, this is Kevin Harlan, and I'm here with Rob Seid at Rob Seid Ford. Rob, I smell a grill. What's cooking?
Kevin, the grills are fired up, and so are the deals. Right now at Rob Seid Ford, it's the Ford Employee Pricing Sales Event with the best deals we've had in the past 12 months.
Now that's saying something. What are we talking?
Employee pricing on virtually every new Ford on our lot, plus even more dealer discounts on top.
So how hot do these deals get?
Up to $17,500 off brand new F-150s at Rob Seid Ford, plus huge savings on Expedition, Explorer, Bronco Sport, Bronco, and more.
Wow, that's 5 alarm hot.
Exactly, and unlike Kevin's Burgers, these deals are coming out juicy.
All right, I walked into that one.
Shop Rob Seid Ford, Kansas City's top-rated Ford store on Google. 4.8 stars and nearly 3,500 reviews.
Rob Seid Ford, 135th and State Line, or robseid.com.
Buy right, Rob Seid.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circa Sports. From baseball to basketball, hockey to golf, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circa Sports has you covered. Download the Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Memorial Day's almost here, and I've got a better plan than sweating in the kitchen or over the grill. I'm letting Hy-Vee handle all of the food. I'm ordering my party trays right through the Hy-Vee app. Whether I want custom builds or their huge grab-and-go selection like charcuterie, wings, seafood, sandwiches, or smoked meat, it's all there. A quick stop at their massive wine and spirits department, and I'm done. One convenient stop for the perfect party. So this Memorial Day, let Hy-Vee handle everything, from the food to the beverages, only at Hy-Vee.
If the high cost of filling up is weighing you down, lighten your load this Memorial Day at Hy-Vee. Save 25 cents per gallon on fuel with every $35 purchase. Stock up on groceries and stack up the fuel savings. Earn 25 cents per gallon with your $35 purchase, 50 cents per gallon with a $70 purchase, and so on. The more you spend, the more you'll save. Your next fill-up could be free. Don't miss the Memorial Day Fuel Saver event Monday, May 25th, only at Hy-Vee.
Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more. Visit our inventory at ShawneeMissionFord.com.
Hey, it's Cole, and I have exciting news. Ford has announced employee pricing for everyone. Over at Shawnee Mission Ford, you pay what they pay, and you still get the rebates and incentives offered by Ford, along with the top trade-in value from Shawnee Mission Ford, who's on a mission to do more in 26.
Range Bait with Dusty Likens is now up on the Fan's YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter channels. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. Thank you so much for listening. It is The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited to be here with you on your 5 o'clock drive home. Now, it's been a while since we've talked about the Royals because they haven't really given us a whole lot to talk about. But you know what? I'm a little burnt out talking about Rashee Rice and his inability to
stay off the weed.
I'm sure he'll do something else, and Rashee Rice will be back in the news. I mean, you guys think that Rashee Rice is going to go from May 21st until the end of his contract with no further incidents? You don't believe that. You know that's not going to be the case. Something else is going to pop up with Rashee Rice that we are going to discuss him. So his most recent inability to
stay off the weed
is not the last that we will talk about Rashee Rice. But at least for now, we don't have any new information. We have all of the information. He is in jail. He is in custody. He's there right now. If you want to put some money on his books, a little commissary, maybe you want to write Rashee Rice a letter, maybe you want to write him a note, maybe you want to give him a call. Make sure you don't say anything incriminating because they do record those phone calls. But there's nothing else really to discuss with Rashee Rice. He had his surgery. He's recovering. He's in jail. He gets out on June 16th. So we can have that conversation whenever Rashee Rice gets out of jail. But until now, all you need to do is remember to
stay off the weed.
And as long as you do that, you'll be fine. I would like to spend some of this 5 o'clock hour talking about your Kansas City Royals. We are talking about the Royals because we are at the 50-game mark. 50. Now, Denny Matthews, dear friend of the show, I love Denny. Denny has been great to me. Denny is a big believer in June 1st, Memorial Day. Well, it's the Thursday before Memorial Day weekend. Baseball's right around the corner. Like, that date's right around the corner. And on Memorial Day, they play the New York Yankees, a team that has dominated the Kansas City Royals the last handful of seasons. So I don't know about you, but I'm not super confident going into that series. Now, I'm not telling you something you don't know, but here's what I want to talk about. What did we miss with the Royals? What did we miss? Because I don't understand how it went this wrong. This team was .500 last year. Their individual stars had a phenomenal spring at the WBC. Bobby Witt Jr., amazing. Vinny Pasquantino, all-world. Miguel Garcia, Salvador Perez, the guys that you were counting on to carry your team has as good of a first 90 days in baseball that you could have. January, February, March had positive A ratings. How did things go so left with the Royals this year? How did things get so bad with the Royals this year? Now, this is my theory on the Royals. You guys can tell me if you think I'm wrong. I think the Royals and the Chiefs have shown us a very important message. In a hyper-competitive market, you have to constantly be doing things that keep you one step above the competition. You have to constantly be doing things that evolve and grow with the times. And the moment you stop doing that, and the moment you feel complacent with your success or wherever you are, is the moment that you start to lose ground in your field. For example, with the Chiefs, there was a time where the Chiefs wore run it back like a mantra. It was a slogan for the team. Run it back. We got these guys. We're not bringing in anybody else. We're going to bring these guys in our camp. And we, the public, bought into it and ate it up. Yeah, run it back. Bring them back. Oh, man, I'm happy Mike Pinnell's back. You got to go get Mike Dana. We celebrated it at one point. Well, meanwhile, there was some Clubber Langs in the back that were working. And you know what? Over the course of the Chiefs running it back, New England got a lot better. And Denver got a lot better. And the Chargers got more consistent. And Buffalo, their quarterback has improved to the point where some people think that he's the best quarterback in the National Football League. A lot of the competition around Kansas City improved, while the Chiefs largely stayed the same and continued to do the exact same things, and they lost ground in a very competitive field. Well, this offseason, if you notice, the Chiefs woke up and said, we're tired of doing that. So let's completely start over on some spots. Let's start over in this running back room. Let's try to rebuild this defense. Let's really tinker with the formula a little bit and see if that changes. That's good. I like that. That's the way to handle it. I do not understand how a team could be 26th in offense last year the way that the Royals were, and there's 30 teams in baseball. They were 26th. They were 13th in runs scored in the American League. For the life of me, I don't understand how that business just thought, we're good. Can you imagine having that mindset in literally any other field? Can you imagine if you were the 26th most profitable barbecue restaurant in Kansas City, a hyper-competitive field, you got world-class barbecue. People come from around the world to come eat at our barbecue restaurants. Think about how difficult the competition's got to be and how tough it has to be for you to crack into that fraternity. Can you imagine being 26th in profit, 13th in your city, 13th in your zip code, and somebody comes to you and say, hey, you know what? Maybe you should change the menu a little bit. Hey, maybe you should paint. Maybe you should market a little bit more. Maybe put some Facebook ads out there. Maybe you should do something that could drive business. And the owner of that company going to you and being like, nah, we're good. You know what? The guys that we got cooking the barbecue now, they're going to get much better at it. And you'll see we'll be bigger than Q39. Okay, all right. I mean, good luck to you. I hope that plan works. The Royals' entire offseason plan was trust our system, it works, and we're going to develop these guys. Despite I'm 37 years old. Rob, you're 35 years old. You're a little bit younger than me. There's only really been an 18-month stretch in my life in which the Royal system worked. Other than that, for the most part, their system has been largely disappointing. For the most part, it's been largely disappointing. But you know what? We were supposed to trust them. And when we, as the public, as the paying customers, were sitting here saying, hey, don't you guys want to go get a new outfielder this year? Maybe you should. Maybe you guys should go get a big-time bat to put in the middle of your lineup. Their response was, you know what? Isaac Collins. Their response was Lane Thomas. That's it. That's all they did. That doesn't blow your mind that they decided to do that? Why did we believe that this was going to work? Why did we trust this was going to work? What basis did we have to believe that their strategy was going to work? Now, I will give them a little bit of grace, at least for this part, just a small amount, not a large amount of grace, but I'll give them just a little bit of grace for this. The guys that they were counting on offensively, the guys that they were relying on, they've let them down in a major, major way this season. Honestly, they have. They've let them down in a major, major way this season. You guys want to go through the batting splits for this team? Listen to this. I hope you're sitting down because you might pass out when you hear this. If you are looking at the Royals and the production that they are getting from their third, fourth, and fifth spot in the lineup, listen to this. The player who hits third for them, so not an individual person, I mean the third spot in the lineup this season is hitting 214. The fourth spot in the lineup, cleanup, is hitting 202 this season. Their fifth hitter is hitting 197. I don't care how good your pitching is. I don't care how good your bullpen is. If you are getting basically no production from third, fourth, and fifth, you are in a world of trouble. Those have been the spots that have killed the Royals. Their leadoff hitter, hitting 255. Their two-hitter, Bobby Witt Jr., you know him, an all-star. He's hitting 300 this year in the MVP conversation. Going to be a phenomenal. 214, 202, 197, 3, 4, and 5. So not only could they not identify talent from outside of the organization to bring in and help alleviate some of the situations, they also have failed to develop their own guys other than the one guy who we were told was a can't-miss prospect. I'm not saying they don't get any credit for Bobby Witt Jr. because you obviously get credit for Bobby Witt Jr., but Bobby Witt Jr. would have been that same guy with any other organization in baseball. Like, he would have been that way. The Spurs get credit for Victor Wembanyama, but you would have drafted Victor Wembanyama. You know what I mean? Like, you would have drafted him. It didn't take a rocket scientist to see, hey, this guy that's 7'4" might be really good. Everybody knew Bobby Witt was going to be a good Major League Baseball player. Have they developed Vinny Pasquantino to a level that you feel confident in? I'm frustrated. Honestly, I really am. I'm frustrated, because I feel like we were lied to. And I feel like they sold us one thing and then we got it in the mail and it didn't look anything like the picture. It didn't look anything like what I saw online. This team, no one was asking them to go out and be the best team in the American League. They didn't need to be the best team in the American League. But their league is terrible this season. It's bad. It's bad. There's 5 teams in the American League with a winning record right now. At the 50-game mark, there's 5. There's 3, I would say, pretty good teams. Cleveland is starting to separate themselves. Cleveland's pretty good. The Yankees are good, and the Rays are good. Everybody else is just blah. The fact that the White Sox are tied with the 4th best record in the American League should tell you everything you need to know about how good this is. The Royals are 9 games out of first place at the 50-game mark. The Royals are 5 games out of the wild card spot in a league in which everybody is in the wild card conversation. Even terrible Boston, who fired their coach, fired their hitting coach, fired their pitching coach. Baltimore, who's terrible, they're 3 games out of the wild card chase. The fact that the Royals are behind these teams is an embarrassment. It really is. It's an embarrassment. And you know what? The Royals they'll keep doing what they're doing and tell us to trust them. JJ will figure this out. McEnroe will figure it out. Alex Zumwalt to figure it out. Yeah, I'm sure they will. They'll figure it out to a 73-win season in football season. That's what they'll figure it out for.
It has been really, really bad. And to your point at the top of the show, the top of the hour and the top of the show, it's eerily similar to the Chiefs a couple of years ago, and it feels like motion is progress, and there's been no motion in the Truman Sports Complex recently. The Chiefs felt like, we're good, watch us work, and it blew up in their face to the tune of 6-11. The Royals, hey, we're 82-80 on the heels of a postseason bid. Trust us, it'll be fine. They are trending toward the baseball equivalent of 6-11. I'm not saying you have to make 500 moves. I'm not saying you have to sign 9 free agents in offseason. I'm not saying you have to make 10 trades. You don't have to be, wheeling and dealing. But motion is progress. And the Royals and the Chiefs they weren't in motion the last couple of years, and they have regressed, or at the very least stagnated and been passed by their contemporaries. Do I think they can get back to it? Yeah. There's confidence in the Chiefs, and I have confidence the Royals have seen the error in their ways. Now, they can't fix it today, but I'm confident they've seen the error in their ways. But motion is progress, and right now, one Arrowhead Drive and one Royal Way, we're just lacking in motion recently.
Text line 913-586-7965. CDOT, that's kind of like me. I expect this show to get better each time I listen, and it doesn't. I'm here to tell you this right now. We never came in 12th place. That's where the Royals are right now. Say what you want about this show. We ain't never been this far down in our standings. That's embarrassing. Can't even name 12 other radio stations. That's insulting to me to even suggest something like that. The Royals are in 12th place in their profession. There's 15 teams. The only team in the American League with fewer wins than the Royals are the Angels. And there is no team in American sports over the last 20 years that have been more disappointing than the Angels. The Angels have had Albert Pujols, they've had Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani, and don't have anything to show for it. That's the only team worse than the Royals. This is one of the worst series in Royals history. Honestly, it's one of the worst seasons in Royals history. There have been worse teams than this one, for sure, no question. There have been teams you had no hope, you knew they were terrible. This team, it is inexplicable that they are this bad. There's no reason they should be this bad. Look at their rotation that they put out there at the beginning of the season. Look at their lineup that they had. Look at their bullpen. It is inexcusable that they are one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball. Rob, there's only one team in the National League. There are 2 teams in baseball with fewer wins than the Royals. They only have, for all the jokes we have, the Royals only have 1 more win than the Rockies do. Think about how bad your perception is of the Colorado Rockies. The Royals have 1 more win than they do. And the Rockies at least got an excuse. They're in the same division as the Dodgers and the Padres. What's the Royals' excuse for being this way? They can't beat the White Sox. It's bad.
Vern called it a couple days ago. I think it was Monday with Fesco and Dusty. The most disappointing season of Royals baseball he's covered. Now, you're right. Vern hasn't been here since the dawn of time. He started covering the team in what, 2011, 2012, something like that? There's been a lot of bad baseball Vern's seen. He saw the 2019 Royals. That literally the losingest team in franchise history. This is the most disappointing team because the expectations weren't just, be a plucky team that can get us to football season. They had real expectations, like national voices that you trust. The Jeff Passan types talking about this team as a team to watch out for. And they're 10 games under. We haven't reached Memorial Day, and people are more excited about the lake trip they have coming up than any amount of Royals baseball this summer.
So text line 913-586-7965. I do want to get to the hits. We will make hit number 1, some breaking news in the world of sports. Hit it, Rob.
Your workday is over.
Oh, yeah.
You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for the hits. Number 1.
I want to read this to you. This is a tweet from the official NASCAR page. We are saddened and heartbroken to share the news of the passing of Kyle Busch, a 2-time Cup champion and one of our sport's greatest and fiercest drivers. He was 41 years old. We extend our deepest condolences to the Busch family, Richard Childress Racing, and the entire motorsports community. So that is all the information I have on this. Just wanted to pass that news and notes. I know some of you are big NASCAR fans out there. Kyle Busch, he has passed away at the age of 41. I'm sure that we are going to get much more information on that. So that is hit number 1, Rob. Hit number 2.
Number 2.
I have a toss-up question for hit number 2. Let's change the energy a little bit. RIP to Kyle Busch.
41. Ooh.
I know.
So
terrible,
young.
Terrible. Tragic. Honestly, tragic. What do you think gets more oohs and ahs from a crowd? You're a season ticket holder in football and basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been in the stadium when these two things happen. Is it a big bone-jarring hit or when a guy gets dunked on? Because that Stephon Castle dunk yesterday, if you were watching the game live when it happened, you stood up when it happened. I was sitting there and oh my goodness. Now, I mean, I'm no NBA scout, but I think I got a good idea of who can hoop and who can't hoop. I remember watching Stephon Castle in person. Remember the UConn-Kansas game? It was at Allen Fieldhouse. I was there. And I remember like, yo, who's that? And it was Stephon Castle. And if you remember, I told you, I was like, he's one of the best players I've ever seen come into this building before. He didn't really seem overwhelmed by the moment. He played really well. I think Donovan Clingan was hurt in that game, right? It was somebody was hurt on UConn for that game. And UConn went in there and put up a really good fight, but it's Allen Fieldhouse. The place was rocking. Every celebrity associated with KU was there. It was a live atmosphere. I didn't expect UConn to go in there and win. I don't know why Stephon Castle wasn't the first overall pick in that year's draft class, but none of that matter. What gets the more oohs and ahs and gets the crowd going? Is it one of those bone-jarring hits? Or is it when a guy just gets absolutely dunked on the way that Stephon Castle, I think it was Hartenstein, the way he got dunked on yesterday.
And SGA has some weird stuff to say about Hartenstein after the game. No matter. I think it's the dunk, but I think it's really, really close because the bone-jarring hit, just the way football works in 2025, 2026, the bone-jarring hit, everyone oohs, and then they stop. And they look for a flag. That's just, you pause. You look around like, oh, is that clean? And you kind of have a muted reaction because now it's not like Ronnie Lott in 1985 taking someone's head off. You kind of keep your head on a swivel like, did he do that cleanly? Let's see how everyone reacts. So I think it's the dunk because most fans in an arena know what a block or a charge looks like. And when a dude gets dunked on cleanly, it is, ooh. And I also think for the dunk is reason because have you been in an arena where your team gets dunked on? You still kind of, like, it's like a sad ooh, but it still is an ooh and an awe when it happens to your own team.
Yeah, I mean, you see sometimes where a guy will get dunked on and his own team will have a reaction. There's two things in basketball that you cannot help it when it happens. When a guy gets crossed over so bad that he falls, everybody has a reaction to it. It's just one of those things that's ingrained in your mind. Like, we've all seen enough and one basketball. You know what your reaction's supposed to be when a guy gets crossed over. And when a guy gets dunked on, I don't care who it is, you got to have a reaction. It's not like a small reaction, too. It's one of those, oh my goodness. That series has been absolute theater so far. Victor Wembanyama does something every time I watch him that I've never seen a person do before. He had a play yesterday where he was driving to the basket. He tried to lay it up. He missed the layup. And in basically the same motion, he treated it like an alley-oop on the rebound and dunked it. And I'm thinking to myself, how do you do that? I've never seen that before. Honestly, I've never seen a person do that before. There aren't many people physically that could even do something like that. It was absolutely amazing. Two quick basketball thoughts here related to that. So that's my Wemby thought. The second thing is, I know people have an issue with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the way that he plays and the way that he hunts for fouls. And I'm not saying it's my favorite style of playing either, but just how fluid he is, how great he is in the mid-range. He just never gets worried, never gets rushed, never plays faster than he's supposed to play. He just plays the game with such an ice-cold ability that's just really, really fun to watch to me. And I hate the game-by-game nature sometimes of how we treat things. I mean, Oklahoma City hadn't lost a game in the playoffs. They then lose in game one. Now everybody's trying to figure out scenarios to get Chet off of the team. Like, why are we doing this? Chet is one of the best American young bigs. And I feel like we were having this conversation with Chet because he's not as good as Victor Wembanyama in basketball. Like, what are we doing here? Like, if you had a draft and you were drafting all current players in the NBA, Chet would go very, very high on the list. He would be one of the top 10 players, but you factor in his age, his size. I know Wemby was Defensive Player of the Year. Chet was second in Defensive Player of the Year. He's one of the best young players. Some of the commentary after game one was a little ridiculous, in my opinion. Someone on the text line says, C-Dot, does the NFL have an equivalent of being posterized? I think it's either being stiff-armed or ran through. I think that's the equivalent of being posterized. What
about
Derrick Henry did to Earl Thomas, that's the equivalent of being posterized.
Does being mossed count as posterization?
I don't think it's as bad because to me, part of the posterizing is like the physical dominance that you have over them. It's like the two bodies collide and I won. That's kind of what the stiff arm is, or when a guy lowers their shoulder. Like, it's the Oklahoma drill, but seeing it in real time. Who's stronger? And in that case, I mean, to watch Derrick Henry bounce another NFL player's head off the turf, that feels to me like the NFL version equivalent of being posterized. All right, keep it right here. It's The Drive. You're listening on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and the Odyssey app. Let's talk about the Chiefs' defense. We had Peter Woods on the show earlier. Check that out on the podcast page. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison, the go-to show for dating advice you didn't ask for.
If you got to ask your girl to help on the bill on Valentine's Day, you've done something wrong.
On your home for Kansas City sports, 96.5 The Fan.
This is one of my favorite times of the sports calendar, and FanDuel is celebrating it right. FanDuel is serving up a happy hour every day of the NBA playoffs. We're talking special drops that you don't want to miss, from profit boosts to bonus bets and more. The best part of this is it's every single day. All you need to do is head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. I absolutely love the NBA playoffs. I'm talking of every day, every night. Incredible basketball played at the highest level by the biggest stars in the game. So it doesn't matter if it's a buzzer beater or it's a series sweep. They got you covered over on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. So whether you're betting the early game or you're getting ready for the prime time, make sure that you open up the FanDuel app and see what's waiting for you today. Go to FanDuel.com/local to get started. That's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA, and also the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, Kansas City, it's Jeff Briggs with Victory CDJ Art the Legends. Once again, we are taking the hassle out of car buying with the Victory Scavenger Hunt. Folks, as always, our hunts are different. We put the price right at your fingertips with our Let's Do Business guarantee. Like walking up to select Ram 1500s, subtracting $18,000 from the sticker, and let's do business. It's that simple. Just visit VictoryMotorsKC.com and click on the large scavenger hunt banners directly on our homepage. That's VictoryMotorsKC.com, where our first price is better than their last.
The wild weather this spring has brought hail to New Century Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Paola. What that means is they've got plenty of new and used cars and trucks with light cosmetic hail damage. New Century is having a hail of a sale to clear them all out. You can save as much as $15,000 and still receive all the factory incentives. The hail of a sale will not last long at New Century Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Remember, you always pay less in Paola. See dealer for details.
Hi, folks. Bob, Blue Springs Ford. Hey, Blaine, I know we've got employee pricing going on right now for everyone, but what's the difference in pricing?
Great question. 2026 Escape starting at $26,000.
That's thousands of dollars off.
2026 Expeditions?
Oh, I know this is going to be good.
How about up to $10,000 off MSRP and Lightning up to $18,000 off. Plus, you get a lifetime powertrain warranty for free.
Folks, go to BlueSpringsFord.com right now because this ends soon.
Okay, class, let's begin.
Psst, love your boots. I just sold a pair like that on eBay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it took like 2 seconds to list, and they sold almost immediately. I've been selling everything lately. Some chunky boots, a faux fur coat I never wore, and a vintage chair that was more of an expensive clothing rack.
You know, I actually bought these on eBay. Wait, are you Kitty Sell Stuff from Brooklyn?
Okay, quiet, please.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
In a world in need of a hero, one man rises to the challenge in style. He is...
just driving the kids to soccer practice.
Make every day feel epic in the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid with up to an EPA estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior space. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
And hey, come on, no cleats on the seats.
And Doug.
There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means sitting front row at a comedy show.
Hey everyone, check out this guy and his bird. What is this, your first date?
Oh, no. We help people customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual together. We're married. Me to a human, him to a bird.
Yeah, the bird looks out of your league anyways.
Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Brought to you by the Kansas City Win Nelson Trade Show this Friday, May 22nd from 10 till 2 at the Boulevard Drive-In. Contractors ready to get paid to upgrade your installs? See Navient's new HVAC systems at the KC Win Nelson Trade Show this Friday from 10 till 2 at the Boulevard Drive-In. Speak with Navient reps, check out the new NPF Hydro Furnace, and learn how qualifying installs can earn you up to $1,500 back. Over 30 vendors, food, giveaways, and more.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the car crash kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
We've got a crash near Shawnee 35 northbound at 635 there at the split, actually. Right lane is blocked. And then, looks like that wreck's still working. 635 southbound at Kansas Avenue in the right lane. On Valor Traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's George Karlaftis from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome to the Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Rob, you know what? I forgot to give people in the 5 o'clock hour the news. We'll get back to the Chiefs here in a little bit, but this is very, very important. Now, I do encourage you to
stay off the weed.
But I do understand that some of you partake from time to time. Now, I'm not telling you this has happened to me, but I know that some of you like to pack a little bit of the sticky icky on your carry-on when you're traveling. And you've been worried, hey, how do I get this on there? And you try to think of creative ways, you know. You put it in something and you wrap it up in clothes and you hope that it doesn't go off. But then when you get there, they got the little dog and he's walking back and forth, and now you're all nervous in a way that you don't need to be nervous. I don't want you to feel that anxiety. Now, if you're not going to stay off the weed, then maybe you should listen to this.
Roll another blunt. Yeah.
Rob, did you know that TSA, they quietly updated their policy last month to allow medical marijuana to be taken on commercial flights? Now, weed is legal for medical use in 40 states and also D.C., but, still the federal, all that kind of stuff. But on the TSA website, you can go on there, look at it for yourself. Doctor-prescribed weed is now formally allowed on flights, both within your check bag and your carry-on bag. This is on the website. Quote, TSA screening procedures are focused on security and designed to detect potential threats to aviation and passengers. Accordingly, TSA officers do not search for illegal drugs, and if any illegal substance or evidence of criminal activity is discovered during the screening process, they will just refer you to a law enforcement officer. Now, I'm not telling you that you should be riding around with the sticky or the icky, but again, I understand that some of you are going to do this. This is big time news. Just go get your medical card. It's not that hard to get. I mean, come on now. You know it's not that hard to get. It's actually very, very easy to go get it. I just want you to be safe. I want you to make right decisions. I don't want you to be hemmed up by the man. I don't want you to have to be talking to the police about those 3 little pre-rolls that you got in your bag. So I'm here to tell you that is what the TSA people just said. That's the information that they had. So I just wanted to pass that information to you. Hopefully you're out there making right decisions.
You better be right, or you're going to lead people
It's
way
on the
astray.
TSA website. I'm telling you to go check it for yourself. Go check it for your own self. Maybe that's what Rashee Rice was trying to do. You think that was it?
No, but
okay, my bad.
Also, Rashee Rice could have it. His probation said don't use it, so it doesn't matter that he could cross state lines with it.
I mean, what you're saying is right, but I'm still trying to help people. I still want people to know the information for themselves, because I'm imagining that some of you have traveled in this situation. I don't want you to feel that anxiety anymore. I don't want that in your life.
I do bet that Rashee Rice travels via plane and not car. Can you imagine him on a road trip? Woof.
No, for sure. All right, that's
you can get there fast, but it'd be bad.
No, that's a good point. Someone on the text line says, "Can you see if I'm blocked or not?" No, you are not blocked. I will respond to you actually right now while I'm thinking about it, because I don't want you to think that you are blocked, because you are not blocked. All right. Let's talk about Peter Woods. Let's talk about the defense a little bit. We had Peter Woods on the show earlier today. I'd encourage you to check out the podcast page, 913-586-7965. Rob, how do you feel about the defense heading into the season? Because I know that you and I feel very similar. Man, I wish they had done a little bit more and got a little bit more pass rush. Now, I want Cam Jordan. You do not want Cam Jordan. So in your mind, with your take, they're done defensively. This is it. Maybe they'll pick up a camp body, so to speak. But if you don't want them to be aggressive and go get an aging pass rusher, then you are set with their defense. How are you feeling about the defense as we are heading into the summer, as we're heading into the offseason? And, I mean, before you know it, we're going to look up. The World Cup's going to be over, and it's going to be training camp time in Kansas City.
I think the Chiefs are done on defense. I also think the Chiefs are done. I think they should be done on defense. I also think they are done on defense. If there's one thing this offseason has shown me, it's that Brett Veach felt like the defense needs to be younger and more explosive. And they have done that basically at 2 of the 3 levels on defense. I guess all 3, if you want to say they're trusting Jeffrey Bassa more than they were, paying Leo Chenal. So I guess all 3 levels. But they are being younger, faster, more explosive. I don't know that Cam Jordan fits that mindset. It kind of reminds me of, they're in 2022, they added Joshua Williams, Jalen Watson, Trent McDuffie to the cornerback room, and you were screaming from the mountaintops. Go add Joe Hayden. Go add James Bradbury. Add a veteran. And they didn't do it. They ended up being fine. Bradbury also was fine. So, I mean, it wasn't a bad call by you. But they said younger and more explosive. That's how I feel about their defense right now. They are all in on younger and more explosive. So the way I feel about it is cautiously optimistic. It's a young defense. It is going to have growing pains. There are going to be games, especially early in the season, where someone just out-schemes them because a rookie corner, a second-year corner, a first-year starter at linebacker, a first-year defensive tackle. One of those guys is just the game's gonna move fast, and he's not gonna know what's happening, and the Chiefs are gonna get burned here and there. I know that, you know that, but I think they have enough talent to, as the year goes on, when they come together, you're gonna see a unit that you're like, oh, and really, really formidable in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm really excited because you are allowing one of the great defensive minds in league history to really start from the bottom. The Chiefs defense right now really has no identity. What is their identity? Like, for example, Houston's defense is identified by them having 2 elite pass rushers. And they also have maybe the second best corner in the National Football League. But when you look at this team, I would say outside of Chris Jones, outside of Karlaftis, you probably throw Nick Bolton and Drew Tranquill in that conversation. And Tranquill's on the list just for a different reason. All the other spots are completely up for grabs, and there is uncertainty attached to it. How does Kairos Tonga look in this defense? You got a lot of guys on the defensive line who have never played before or have played very sparingly. So what does R. Mason Thomas look like? What does Peter Woods look like? Does Ashton Gelati take that next step? Does Omar Norman-Lott take that next step? In the secondary, I don't know how anybody can tell you what their secondary is going to look like. They're starting over to me for the most part when it comes to their defense. No Jalen Watson, no Trent McDuffie in that room. I mean, their top 3 corners in terms of snaps are going to be Mansour Delane, who was at LSU last year, Noah Williams, who played less than 50% of the snaps. Maybe it's Kader Kohu. It's his time in the defense. Christian Fulton, who couldn't really get on the field until the absolute end of the season. They just have so many question marks on their defense that is exciting on one side of the coin, but also a little bit nerve-wracking on the other side because I don't really know what to expect from their defense. And I don't really know how anybody can tell you what to expect because they just have so many new parts, and we got to see how it all gels together.
To that point, I think if you ask me how I feel about the defense in May and August, and then you ask me again in October, I'm going to have 3 different answers. And not just because new data points will have arrived. I will have a better understanding of how Mansour Delane looks, how Peter Woods looks, what if Ashton Gelati took a step forward, if George Karlaftis has returned to the form that he had in previous seasons. Like, they have so many question marks that it is exciting because everyone right now, it's May. Every question mark is going to be a success. R. Mason Thomas is Nick Bonito right now, Carrington, because it's May. But you know what's going to happen? One of these rookies is going to not live up to expectation. One of these young guys is going to struggle. One of these veterans is going to have a regression year. That's sports. It happens. And we're going to have a better understanding of how it all works. I do know this about the defense. Early in the season, Chamari Connor's playing too much. I have that take ready to go for September 15th. Can you believe he played that amount of snaps? 913-586-7965. That conversation I know is coming at some point with Chamari Connor.
Keep it right here. You're listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan. We got Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals coming up later tonight between the Knicks and the Cavs. That's coming up. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
So we got Memorial Day coming up on Monday. So that means grilling season. That means barbecue season, cookout season. And you know what? That means you need to go hit up our friends over at Gates Barbecue to get you right for the weekend. The next time you're at the grocery store, go stop in and get one of those classic Gates sauce. Next time you're at the grocery store, go get one of those classic Gates seasoning. What I really love about the seasoning is it's multi-purpose. I used a little bit of it earlier today when I was making my breakfast, had a little bit of eggs, had a little bit of chicken. I seasoned it with that Gates seasoning. Oh, it was fantastic. Maybe you want to use it on chicken. Maybe you want to use it on steak. Maybe you want to use it on fish. Go grab some of that Gates seasoning. I don't got to tell you much more about the Gates barbecue sauce. It's some of the best barbecue sauce in the world. Maybe you don't know how to grill. Just stop by, go in there, pick yourself up a party tray, bring it to the function. It'll be a win. You can pick up a small party tray. You can pick up a large party tray. Maybe you want to go get a presidential platter. Maybe you want to go grab some of those fries. They got the burnt Emacs that I'm telling you is absolutely delicious. And with 5 area locations and 5 locations spread out around the city. So it doesn't matter if you're on the Kansas side. It doesn't matter if you're heading out to the baseball game later today. You are never too far away from our friends over at Gates Barbecue.
Royals coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door. Forward and back, RENNER.
Almost Andy Reid here. It's Mental Health Awareness Month, and Renner Garage Door is giving back. 5% of sales go to Authentic Life Foundation, and you get 5% off your project. Visit rennerdoor.com.
RENNER, RENNER.
FanDuel is giving you better payouts on same-game parlays all NBA playoffs long. With more ways to build and more value every time you play, you can stack your picks your way for every game, every matchup, and every moment. From spreads to player points to threes and more, build it all into a same-game parlay and go for bigger payouts. So if you're betting same-game parlays this NBA postseason, be sure to bet them on FanDuel. More options, better payouts, all NBA playoffs long. So head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. That's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel puts player research right at your fingertips. You can check stats, trends, and matchups all in one place and make your picks with confidence. It's everything you need all in one single app. So don't miss your shot. Head to FanDuel.com/local to bet your same-game parlays. FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA. Play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
We all have that one painting project we've been putting off. For me, it was the exterior. I finally called CertaPro Painters, and you know what? I wish I'd done it sooner. They provide a free estimate quickly and at the right price. And what I loved most was the communication. I never had to wonder what was next because they provided reliable daily updates. They treat your home with respect, like it deserves. So schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Like our original gold-rimmed Bluebell homemade vanilla, the country's gold standard of ice cream flavors since 1969. Its hand-cranked taste takes you back to simpler times. That's why we put the word home right on the carton.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at all Price Chopper supermarkets and Cosentino markets.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Markdowns for Miles at AutoZone.
Thanks. Is oil marked down?
Save up to $15 when you buy 5 quarts and a filter.
And fuel treatment?
2 for $9 on Lucas.
Brake pads?
Marked down to free.
Free?
Get free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 Duralast rotors.
That's several markdowns.
For many more miles.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
My dad passed away unexpectedly. Of course, it was awful in every way, but we are very grateful that he had life insurance. So even after he was gone, he was still able to provide for us. And that's why I have life insurance for my family. Ethos.com. They make it fast and easy to get covered. It's 100% online. You get a quote in seconds, and you can apply in minutes. You get covered the same day.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Rates may vary.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Oh, Latha, that's a stall. It's 35 northbound past 151st in the right lane. That's a small liquor delay. That is southbound. You've also got the crash 435 eastbound just past 35. Left lane is blocked. Also, 470 eastbound past 71. Scoot to the left. That's the right lane blocked there on Valwood traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, I want to tell you guys a quick little story. So you guys know that I've been on a little bit of a fitness journey. I've been, working out and just trying to eat better and just be more consistent and lock in, all that stuff. So I have scheduled workout days with the weights on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And my arms are they're killing me. They hurt. It's not fun. But you know what? I'm going to stick with it. So on Tuesday and Thursday, before I come in for the show, and then at least on Tuesday, I walked for 30 minutes after the show because I'm like, I got a little bit of time before the NBA playoffs. Let me just go on a little bit of a walk. So today, I just walked around downtown. And Rob, you know what? You catch a lot of things that you just miss, or you just notice things and you see things that you've never seen before by just going out and taking a walk. Like, I would highly encourage any of you, even if it's in your neighborhood and you don't live downtown, just take like a 30-minute walk around your neighborhood. I'm telling you, you will notice things that you've never seen before. Rob, I lived in Kansas City my whole life. Now, the Korean War Memorial, I want to use the correct terms. I didn't know that the Korean War Memorial existed until the Royals were talking about moving to Washington Square Park. I had no clue that it existed until then. And it's a very, very good point. This is a monument that is there to honor people that passed away. We need to preserve it. We need to move it. I'm all for that. I saw that for the first time today when I went on my walk. I was like, oh, this is what people were talking about. I went over there and looked at it, and I read it for a little bit and was kind of looking around, and I noticed some other things while I was walking. Now, I've heard of Lydia's before. I've never eaten there before. And if you had asked me yesterday, hey, where Lydia's at, like give me the address, could not have told you. Had absolutely no clue where Lydia's was. I saw it today on my walk. I was sitting there walking, and I was like, ooh, that's where Lydia's is. That's where people tell me it is. So I wrote that down. I learned a lot about Kansas City while I was on this walk. I really did. I walked for a while. I did a pretty big loop around downtown as I did it. And I did notice one thing that, I've had my criticisms about the World Cup. Don't get me wrong. I've had my criticisms. But I think if you walk around downtown, you will understand that Kansas City is preparing for the World Cup. Like little things that I would have never noticed before. There was a restaurant. They just had a bunch of world flags up. I'm assuming that's a relatively new thing. You could see businesses that have stickers up on their window promoting the World Cup and just little things. Like you could kind of get a sense that soccer is coming to Kansas City. I went to Union Station. I was walking around there for a little bit, and I was seeing soccer jerseys being promoted in the thing. So I'm telling you, I encourage you, just take a 30, 45-minute walk around your neighborhood and just look around for a second. And I'm telling you, you will notice some things that you've never noticed before if you go on this walk.
We're running short on time for the show, so I'm excited you're excited about the World Cup, and you are starting to feel it around town a little bit. I think after Memorial Day, you really start to feel it. How have you never been to Lydia's? I've been to Lydia's. Lydia's is nowhere near my house. I've been to Lydia's multiple times.
I've never been to Lydia's before.
Isn't that your go-to Jack Stack too? That's next door.
That is the Jack Stack that I do go to. It's the Freight House.
You just walk out of Jack Stack, close your eyes, and get your car? Like what? How has this happened? Lydia's is very good too. If you like Italian
food. Is it hard
food.
to get into?
Because
isn't there a place over there? Extra Virgin, it's like hard to get a seat.
Extra Virgin's very difficult to get into.
I met the founder of it. He gave me his car. I was like, oh, whenever you need to come, but I didn't even think about it. You want me to give you his card, so if you want to go, you can go?
Extra virgin, I would take the card. Lydia's, you can get in regular.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know. What's their go-to dish?
I mean, they're an Italian place.
I know, but I mean, Garozzo's has a thing. If you've never eaten at Garozzo's, they're going to tell you, hey, order this thing. What is Lydia's like? Are they known for something? Is there a thing?
I don't know. They have their version of chicken spadini, to give you an example. They just are a very good Italian place. Okay. I don't think they're the best in the city, but they're very good.
Okay, I was walking and
you can then go down there,
a lot of things.
Eat, walk back, and burn off the calories. Carbo load for a longer walk.
No, that also makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. No, so I went on a nice little walk today. It was very informative. It was restaurants. It was things that I had seen before but had no clue. I walked past is it called the Clio Club?
I've never been there.
Yeah, I'd seen the videos on TikTok, but I'd never been there before. Like, oh, that's where it is.
By the way, you can take your own wine to Lydia's. So grab a bottle, take a walk, head down to Lydia's.
Anytime?
I mean, they have a corking fee, but yeah.
Oh, I didn't know this.
That's what Google. I thought that was the case. I Googled it. Yes, you can take your wine to Lydia's.
Oh, I didn't know. Well, let me Google it here.
Walking down.
Lydia's has a 4.5 with 4,000 Google reviews. Mm-hmm. So it's really popular.
That's why I'm so stunned you've never been there.
I've never been there. Not one time. Not at all. I got to give it a try, though. Look at this. The menu's impressive.
There you go. Learn something new every day.
Oh, I did. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I might have to go check this out. This is my kind of carrying on. This is my kind of restaurant, honestly. It's my kind of place. They got a nice little shrimp scampi there. I'll take a little shrimp scampi. I love a little shrimp scampi with a little Caesar salad. Crouton me. All right, we're off early. No, we're not even off early today.
We're not off early. It is 6 o'clock.
Regular time. I'm just so used to being off early today. We were here. It's a marathon shift. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourself. It's The Drive.